I can, mate, yes. The toss is... I can, and the toss is about to take place. Fletcher's alongside as well. Fletcher's alongside and listening yet, so... Cool. I like our green this year.
Yes.
It's quite...
Yeah, no, it's nice, isn't it? The kits have got better this year all of a sudden. Ours has stayed the same, but no, it's nice.
Haven't seen them all yet. Middlesex were in pink, you say again?
Well,
or just the jumpers were
predominantly
pink?
green with black
Okay.
flecks on it, but the jumper, the sweater was still pink.
Come on, Dan, get it tweeted out, quick.
Derbyshire batting.
I'm guessing you might have won it then, because it's supposed to be quite a good pitch. But
Right. We batted first on Wednesday. I'm guessing from what Billy was doing rather than anything else. Aaron Lilly's beard is terrific though, isn't it? I do like
yeah,
that.
Scott's convinced he's a ideal hipster, but he was.
Yeah.
I lost patience with him after last year, Lily. You know, that awful misfield that cost us a place in this finals day.
Yeah.
It was arrogance. It was.
Foxes won the toss and bowl. Unchanged.
Oh.
Harry came.
Good evening,
Good
Strings. Good evening,
evening.
everybody. It is nice to see. Obviously, we had fans during the two Champeo games.
Well, it's that time again. Time for a bit of rock and roll. Huge wicket!
Oh, have a look at that!
That's brilliant! What a catch! And boy, did they need that!
Well, this is punishing stuff from David Milan. He keeps going and going.
Oh, excellent catch!
God, what a delivery! That is an absolute beauty! That is magnificent!
Got to be quick here. Oh, brilliant, brilliant, world class, David Willey.
Oh, he's gone again. He's gone again, this time straight. Running round. Oh, that's incredible. What a catch. Huge wicket. That could be the game right there. He's got him. It's 7. Unbelievable. Oh, no. Would you believe it?
It's the Notts Outlaws, 2020 champions. Brilliant performance.
Get this one underway, and they'll be the favourites, make no mistake about that. Yes, and we've risked a few pence on that basis, haven't we? And why not? Why not? But if we lose this one, then we'll be a bit worried about it. Probably available at longer odds. We should have waited possibly, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will, Strings. I really think it's a stronger Leicestershire side this season. I'm absolutely convinced about that, and I think once they get it right, they're going to go on a bit of a roll, and it could just start tonight. Two outriders. Lily, who's out there at deep. It's going to come over the wicket then to Lewis. Reece comes in and bowls. Reece turns it neatly away. Can't get there. Diving across to his left. Mid-wicket, Lily cleans up, so just cool. Reece had a super game against Lancashire, super all-round game, 59 he made off 32 balls for the Falcons, and then picked up 2 for 26 from his 4 overs, so he's very much a man in form, will be key. And now it's young Harry Kane, the debutant for the Falcons, who is about to face his first ball in T20 cricket. In goes Parkinson and bowls to him. He tries to work it away off stump, pushes it out into the covers. Ackerman is first to it, and Kane will. His heart will be beating fast, but it'll feel a little bit better for having seen off his first ball. Parkinson is in round the wicket. Bowls to goes past the outside edge. Was that a chance? Parkinson's hands started to go into the air. Don't think so. It wasn't taken cleanly by Josh Inglis behind the stumps. There's no obvious great disappointment on the part of the Leicestershire players, so I don't think he got anything on that, but it was a slightly nervous jab. Parkinson is in. He uses his feet well and comes down to meet the ball and works it down towards long on, where Davis is fielding, and Kane has got his first run. Fetch is back alongside.
Richard, we've started early, haven't we?
A little bit. Yeah, we have actually. 6:29. They've cracked on.
Caught me by surprise. I'll just sort my microphone out. There we go. Yeah.
Parkinson back over the wicket to Reece, who makes room and looks to cut it away into the offside. Doesn't quite place it or time it as well as he would like, and it's not so very far short of Ben Mike at backward point, next to umpire David Milnes. Rob White is the other umpire. Parkinson is in, fires it in towards the legs of Reece, who waits for it and clips it neatly out to Lilly at deep mid-wicket. End of the over, rather better one for Parkinson than his first over yesterday. Conceded just the 3 singles from it. And Derbyshire Falcons, after 1 over, are therefore 3 without loss.
Harry Kane is the 724th cricketer to make his debut for Derbyshire, the 3rd born in Basingstoke. I don't know where Griff gets these from. The 3rd born in Basingstoke after Neil Gunter and Charlie McDonnell. I saw Charlie McDonnell play. I didn't see Neil Gunter.
I'm not sure, but I think I've seen Hampshire play at Basingstoke. I think they have played the odd game there.
Ackerman?
I'm sure they have.
Who was this?
It is Ackerman.
Ackerman.
Who's
Yeah, I thought it was Ackerman. He bowls to Reece. He's pulled around the corner. In fact, he's pulled in front of square by Lewis Reece for the first boundary of the match. Nice shot, dropped in short. I'm not sure whether a spinner dropping a ball in short is necessarily a good idea in any form of cricket, but certainly in T20 cricket when there is a man out there on the square leg boundary, but he was never going to get around. It's 7 without loss, and now this one's driven into the offside. Good stop. Right on the edge of the circle. Rishi Patel. Really nice stop, diving to his left. Did well there. The ball had gone past him. There is a sweeper out, but kept them down to a single. 8 without loss in the second over. Derbyshire having been put into bat. Kane gets struck on the pad. There's an appeal from Ackerman, perhaps a little optimistic. Nothing from English behind the stumps. He was more concerned about getting the ball quickly, and Ackerman's in again, and this one's turned straight to Rishi Patel at a shortish mid-wicket. He's certainly too wide to be a mid on. The long on is on the boundary, and the man out on the mid-wicket boundary. The 2 men outside the circle. Kane just strokes us into the offside. He's halfway down the track. Then he turns around. Then Lewis Reece decides he might have a single there because it was only parried by the fielder out there at extra cover. And in the end, they stay where they are. It's another dot ball. 3 in a row. 8 without loss.
I can't remember the last time I saw Derbyshire without Godalming openings.
No,
way or another.
and without Madsen. It's very strange. Kane clips that final delivery of the Ackerman over out towards the mid-wicket boundary. It is the end of the second. Reece has 7, Kane has 2. Derbyshire 6 off that over, 9 without loss. Didn't make a blistering start the other day from memory. They were 17 for 1 after 2 overs up at Old Trafford, so a few more runs, but they'd already lost Billy Godalming by that stage.
168 was a decent score, wasn't it, though? It was a fairly good pitch, in fairness. We played on the same pitch ourselves the following day, or the following evening. Well, Parkinson is being replaced by Naveen ul Haq. So a first chance for the Leicestershire faithful, those at any rate that weren't at Old Trafford last night, to have a look at the young Afghan strike bowler.
He's got to imagine Harry Kane's ever going to come across him.
I don't think so, and he might surprise him a little bit in the way he delivers the ball. In he goes and bowls, and it all looks a bit sort of double jointed. Kane defends a straight-ish delivery off stump, pushes it out into the offside, but it's a sort of, well, I don't know how to describe the action really. It's slightly windmilling.
Was that one of his slower ones? He's got a few of them, hasn't he?
Supposed to.
Yeah.
So he tells us.
Can't have too many slower balls.
I don't know whether it just means it means he refers to where it pitches or at what speed it comes out. I don't know whether he actually changes his action, but we'll see. We'll try and see. Hard to pick anyway. In he goes and bowls outside off stump. Nicely worked away by Kane. And I think he's going to pick up 4 on this very fast outfield. Hill is in pursuit. He's not going to pull it back down. It was a little bit short. It was a little bit wide. Just enough for Kane to walk it away, get up on his toes and cut it away through point, and picks up 4. He'll feel much better for that.
Just going to say that'll have really calmed him down, won't it? The first boundary. It's his debut in the T20 Blast. Just a handful of first-class appearances for Hampshire before he was released.
Yeah, it wasn't so very short, that. You know, he worked it really nicely. off the back foot. Naveen is in again and bowling. It pulled through mid-wicket hard and quite flat. It was in the air for a good few feet as it went past mid-wicket, but another fine shot from Kame, and the young man is in double figures already, moves on to 10. And well, maybe it's an advantage not knowing quite what to expect in that respect, and he's just going to see ball and hit it. 10 off 10 for him.
Billy who? That's what they're all asking. He'll be in next, don't worry.
Naveen, not the start he hoped for in front of his home fans, is in and bowling to Kame. That is the slower ball. He has skied it. It should be caught by Davis at mid-on and is caught by Davis at mid-on. Naveen holds two hands up in the air in triumph, and there is a loud toot on the vuvuzela in tribute. Having picked up two off the previous two balls, fours that is, didn't really need to play the shot. The young man could have looked to work it away, but he did go very early at the slower ball, top-edged it and dismissed.
Yeah, disappointing way to end, wasn't it, really? He looks fairly crestfallen as well as he walks from the field just down to our right-hand side to be replaced by Billy Godman. You're right, he was completely undone by the slower ball. Straight up at Will Davis, barely had to move to take the catch. And, well, Derbyshire last a couple more overs than they did at Old Trafford without losing their first wicket, but the first one's gone. Kame made 10.
You learn from that. 8 off the previous two balls. You can
take a single.
Yeah.
Take a single.
Don't need to take an unnecessary risk. Yeah. But his eyes did light up a little bit as he saw it floating down towards him. So there you go. One of the variations has worked already. Well, which one? I wonder.
That's the only one he's got. It's decent. Completely fooled young Kame. Reece got a half century against Lancashire. Had been in dreadful red ball form.
Had a wonderful game, didn't he? Really,
picked up a couple of wickets as well.
Big player. Players, the batters have crossed, of course. So Reece will be on strike. He's been joined by his skipper, Billy Godman, who's watching as Naveen is in and bowling. That was a slower ball as well. It's caught behind. It sounded like it. No, says umpire White. There was a distinct noise, but it must have been bat on pitch there. You could hear the little click almost in the effects mic, but it is a hard pitch, and Naveen thought he'd got 2 in 2. Reece, obviously, and more importantly, Rob White disagreed.
Watch Reece's head. I don't think his head swivels round, does it?
Usually a bit of a giveaway, isn't it?
He didn't look alarmed, did he? He didn't look, oh no, I've hit it, Reece, unless that's something that he's learnt.
I was going to say he's at the feet of the master in Godwin in that respect, isn't he? Naveen is in, bowls a very slow ball, and it's a little bit short, but Reece has to adjust, and in doing so can only stroke the ball out into the offside. And there is no run, so having conceded 2 boundaries in his first 3 deliveries, Naveen came back well, came out of the over pretty well in the end. 1 for 8 from his first, and the Falcons after 3, 17 for 1. Doesn't sound right to call them the Falcons. Did people generally refer to them as the Falcons, or they're not bothered?
People do.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, people do. I seldom do, but Colin Ackerman, conceded 6 off his first over, is going to continue. Derbyshire at 17 for 1. You've got running foxes on the scoreboard as well. What's that all about? No, you're all right. You don't have to say anything. I'll do it. Billy Godman facing his first delivery then as a number 3 in this competition, and he's driven that out into the offside. There's a shocking misfield there at extra cover. We ought to point the finger. It's Aaron Lilly, is it? I'm looking for the beard. It's a long way away. I'd be surprised if he was there, in all honesty. No, Aaron Lilly's out on the mid-wicket boundary, and I apologise to him immediately.
Scott
Steele, 18 for 1, as Reece pushes this one up towards long off. Steele gives up the chase. Will Davis comes in off the boundary to do the fielding on this occasion. They pick up another 1.
It will infuriate Paul Nixon, though, that.
Well,
it's one of the
yes.
things you could do something about, isn't it?
And,
really?
dot balls build that pressure, don't they? These batsmen will be desperate to find a boundary from somewhere or other. Get ready for Billy Goldman to dance down the track at some point. He just strokes this one just to the left of Steele up towards Davis and gets another single. He moves on to 2. Reece has 20 for 1 in the third power play. No, the fourth power play over. That's counting down. Ackerman around the wicket, reverse from Lewis Reece, and it misses everything. That's gone for 4 byes. I don't think he got an under edge on that one, and in fact it's hit something because it's 4 leg byes, but didn't go anywhere near where he intended it to. He was looking to send it off to what would have been the point boundary, which had turned into the square leg boundary. He did reverse, hit a reverse for 6 at Old Trafford to that short boundary that was in play the other day. This one, oh dear, that's clipped into the leg side a little aerially, and they're going to come back for a second as well. And that's good running by Reece and Godleman, who batted together forever, of course. 26 for 1.
Hit him quite hard on the pad,
right.
Reece, and then down to fine leg.
Yes, if we'd have set that table up, we'd have seen the angle, it would have gone away out, we'd have known it hit something. And it was my fault. I persuaded you to stay indoors. 26 for 1. Final ball of the 4th over of Derbyshire's innings. Lewis Reece on strike. Ackerman bowls to him and he clouts this over towards long on for 6. Terrific shot from Lewis Reece. First 6 of the match. Stand and deliver type shot, really. Didn't move his feet too much. It was all about the bat speed, and he sent it away over the boundary. And that is a good end to the over for Derbyshire. 32 for 1 after 4.
Ackerman was, as I mentioned, pretty good against Lancashire. 2 for 22 from 4 overs, but he has already conceded, well, 6 from his first and 15,
but yeah, only
from that, so 21 from 2 overs already.
Only 17 have gone against him, haven't they, with the leg byes?
Yeah, true.
Which is a very small straw to be clutching.
Naveen is going to continue with a packed offside field. The 2 outriders are at long on and mid-wicket still. In he goes and bowls to Godleman, hits him on the pad, bounced outside the line of pitched outside the line of leg stump, I should say, and Godleman and Reece take a leg by comfortably enough. 33 for 1.
You see, in the same way that the Derbyshire players, apart from if they were watching on the stream last night, haven't seen Naveen ul Haq, he'll never have bowled to anybody like Billy Godleman.
Yes, it works both
I would
ways,
suggest. He is very unorthodox.
Lewis Reece waits with a bat raised as Naveen is in and bowling, looking for the Yorker, over pitches it a bit, gets to him on the full. Reece, who drives it back down the pitch on the off side, moving across to his left at mid-off is Ackerman on the edge of the circle. Single is taken. Ackerman does have a throw, but missed the stumps, and Reece had made his ground anyway.
It does look very difficult to get away, though, doesn't he? Very difficult to get away.
Looks to have a decent Yorker as well then. He wants a change in the field. He just wants his third man, or short third man, to go a little bit finer.
This one's been cut to backward point.
As in goes Naveen and bowls a wonderful slower ball that bowls Godleman all ends up. It took forever to get down there. He does have variations, this lad, and that was certainly one of them. That was one of the slowest slower balls I've ever seen with an action like that, and it absolutely deceived Billy Godleman. All ends up, as I say. I'm just going to have a look at the replay at that because it will almost be in slow motion anyway. Well bowled.
Just remarkably he played 2 shots and had time to play a third, I think, there, Billy Godleman, before the ball actually just about had the energy to remove the bails from the stumps. That was a terrific delivery, and poor old Billy Godleman, well, he could do nothing but walk off and think, what on earth's happened there? He won't have seen anything like it. I'm not sure I have a slower ball quite that slow. It was probably slower than Ackerman was bowling and Parkinson. and off a full run-up, and with no discernible change in action, is there? You're right. That's the thing that's most baffling.
I'm just wondering what part of the sort of hand it comes out of.
Took it
They
out.
went into the replay there, and then they had shown the replay a few times on the stream, but it'd be interesting to have a look at that one. End of the over anyway, 34 for 2 after 5, the Falcons. No, it's not quite the end of the over. It can't be. There must be a few more balls to go.
Only 3.
It's all the- yeah, I was going to say, it's all
You've ruined my notes, though.
I do apologise. It's because all the subs come running on with drinks and all sorts of things. There's deploys at the wicket as in goes Naveen and bowls to him. A fairly conventional delivery that off the back foot, waiting for it. Deploy pushes past mid-wicket. Hill scrambles across to his right, can't get there. Davis moves across to his left from mid-on and can get there, but on the edge of the circle. So a comfortable single for Deploy.
Yeah, Les Deploy, who's been in wretched form in red ball cricket as well. Got 34 from 37 at Old Trafford. Didn't hit a single boundary 4. Hit 1 6. But no 4s.
So it's a big old ground, isn't it? But they know where to put their field. They bowl to their field, don't they? That's one of the things they do pretty well. And Naveen, 2 for 10 at the moment, is in a very slow ball that's chipped into the air just over his head. That one was a sort of loopy, slower ball. And again, the batsman completely deceived, just chipped it into the air, Lewis Reece, and very nearly straight back to Naveen, who puts his head to one side in disappointment that he wasn't quite able to leap across and get there. And it trickled out towards Davis, and Reece jogged a relieved single.
It's astonishing, isn't it? Absolutely.
It's fun, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely
He didn't
brilliant.
bowl like this yesterday at Old Trafford. I think the pitch was a bit faster, and he tried to bang it in a little bit, but as Paul Nixon said, he'll learn a little bit about English pitches with each game.
What he's doing here.
In he goes, upon his toes, and bowls a couple of steps down the wicket. It's a slower ball. Deploy more or less gets to the pitch of it, turns it away into the leg side, but in off the boundary comes the bearded Lily. Gets his throw away to Inglis, and just a single then for Deploy. He moves on to 2. Reece has 18, and that is now the end of the over, and it is 37 for 2, 5 for 1 off the over.
It is terrific to watch. Naveen ul Haq. He's here for the entire tournament, I assume.
He is, yes indeed.
Yeah, people who get the opportunity to come down and watch him will thoroughly enjoy it. It's Golden Arm, isn't it? It's Golden Arm.
You'll be slightly baffled if you do, as to wondering how quite he delivers the ball. But certainly poor Billy was a little bit baffled. Godalman, that is.
It's Gavin Griffiths, who picked up a double wicket maiden last night. You get a double wicket maiden in a T20 and still end up on the losing side. You must feel a little bit disappointed.
I'll be surprised if there are many more in the whole competition. I really will.
And they were high class wickets as well, weren't they? 37 for 2 then, the Falcons. Reece has 18. Leicestershire deploys on strike. He takes a step into the leg side and clouts Griffiths back over his head for 4 runs. 2 bounces into the advertising boards. So that's his first boundary of the competition this season. Leicestershire deploy rather bizarrely. Didn't look too much wrong with that shot. Derbyshire move on to 41 for 2. I do like the big scoreboard, but I wish it'd tell me the score slightly more often. There we go, 41 for 2.
Manual's been good this year. Very quick, because I don't know whether you've made the pillars in the way, is it?
Very much, yeah. I'd forgotten about it. That's why I can refer to that. As Griffiths around the wicket to Deploy. That's a slower ball as well, and he's threw his shot a little bit early. Griffiths fields it in his follow through.
You described him in the warm-up as wearing his Netherlands socks. Has he actually? Are they?
No, that's Logan Van Beek.
Oh, that's Van Beek,
yes,
is it?
Yes,
beg your pardon.
Well, Deploy's Hungarian.
I wonder if he's got.
He's not. He's got a Hungarian passport, but he's very South African.
Okay. He could have a red, white, and green, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hungarian colours.
He's waiting now. Takes a couple of steps towards Griffiths and then just guides it up towards a wideish mid-on for a single. He moves on to 7. Yes, Logan Van Beek, who even as recently as Monday was playing for Holland against Ireland in Utrecht.
Yeah, my son lives in Utrecht now, believe it or not. So yes, I told him to go get down there and do a bit of scouting for me. He didn't.
No. So I watched it on YouTube and he played really well.
Is it a mat of some kind, or is it a
No, proper ground and pitch and everything. Yeah, Griffiths bowls, and that's smashed for 6 by Lewis Reece. That might clear the scoreboard. Not quite. Just lands in the covers, but that's a big blow from Lewis Reece. That's his second 6 of the night so far. He moves on to 24 from 14 deliveries, and having batted nicely at Old Trafford for a half century, he looks to be in terrific nick.
Such are the fortunes of T20.
Yes.
Double wicket maiden to start at Old Trafford.
11 off 4 balls. It's in again. Reece has a swing and a miss, and he's angry with himself as he swishes his bat again as he walks off towards square leg. He was looking for the shot over the offside, because there isn't anybody out on the offside. He's got 2 men on the leg side boundary, one in front of the meet and one straighter than that. They're probably a good 40 yards apart out there in the distance.
It was the slower ball as well. He bowled it well, and that did come out of the back of his hand, and it just sort of didn't really get up too high.
No, he's standing at the top of his mark here, with his back to everybody on the field. I'll come in as a chat with him.
Cunning ploy.
Yeah, I think they're hatching a plan here. What will it be? Final ball of the first over from Gavin Griffiths. 11 conceded so far. In fact, the man on the square leg boundary's come into conventional square leg, and he's now got long on out on the boundary. As Griffiths is in, Reece pulls it out to square leg, right where that bloke was. And it bounces once and goes for 4, and Griffiths will be absolutely fuming with himself as much as anything, as he concedes another boundary. That's 15 runs off the over. Derbyshire, well, the half century's up. After 6 overs, they're 52 for 2 with Lewis Reece on 28.
That is a pretty decent start. You would think it's a basis for a total of around about 160, 170. Looking at that sort of level at the pitch so far, it looks pretty good. Paul Nixon said it would be a good pitch, and it looks okay. Griffiths, as I say, none for 2 from his first over yesterday. None for 15 from his first over today. Aaron Lilly, who may have a lot of hair on his chin but has none at all on his head, as he goes in and bowls, and a little bit short around the wicket. Back goes Duploy and cuts it out towards deep extra cover on the boundary and takes 1.
I have to say, I think it's a very good look, by the way.
Round the wicket he goes. He has shaved his head very close, and back goes Lewis Reece and just calmly strokes it through straight mid-off out towards Naveen, who's down at long off, comes running in, single taken again. Or change in the field, despite both batsmen being lefties. Lilly is in, a little bit short and wide. He's caught behind. Yes, he is. Duploy reaching for a wide one. Had he left, it might even have been called wide. Possibly not. But he did reach for it, tried to steer it away, and got the faintest little tickle through to Inglis. So, a couple of good blows from Leos Duploy, but he couldn't quite manage to keep it going. Just how wide it would, it would have been wide. It was outside the blue line. It really would have been wide, but he did reach for it and just got a faintest little edge.
Say
a bit lucky.
160, 170 is really the sort of minimum requirement, isn't it, in T20 these days on a decent pitch? But if you keep losing wickets, it becomes harder and harder. Here's Matt Critchley, who didn't last very long at Old Trafford. At 54 for 3, perhaps a little period of consolidation required by the Derbyshire batsman. You certainly don't want to fall a big heap. At the moment, Lewis Reece is going nicely. 29 from 17, strike rate in excess of 170, so he's upholding his end of the bargain.
Just adds a little bit of pressure on him there, doesn't they? Don't want to lose Reece now. He needs to take it deep into the innings, as they say. So Critchley, right-hander for Lilly to bowl out over the wicket, outside off stump. He tries to stroke it away, doesn't get anything on it. It's a little bit airy. He indicates to Reece that there may have been a little bit of turn there, but didn't look to be any too great turning. Tosses it up on that occasion at Lillian, driven by Critchley getting to the pitch of it, just about out into the offside. Ben Mike is the boundary rider out there in front of the manual scoreboard, and the geary bar is available, as well of course as various drinks of your choice. Round it goes, worked off the legs by Reece out towards mid-wicket. Takes the first one quickly. Mike sells a horrible dummy to Lewis Hill, who'd come in behind him, got his hand to it and sent him the wrong way, essentially. So Reece is able to pick up a second, and again, ordinary work from the Foxes in the field, most unlike them. But a good over from Lilly in that he picked up an important wicket that of Duploy. Only conceded 5 runs, 1 for 5 from his first, 57 for 3 after 7.
Yeah, good over. Colin Parkinson is coming back now. Ball at the pavilion end the first time round. It's at the cricket school end this time. Derbyshire 57 for 3. After 7, so we're looking on the scoreboard for the overs. I've found them now.
Old Trafford's a hard scoreboard.
Yes.
To make out quite what's what, isn't it?
Parkinson around the wicket, balls to Critchley, who drives this away, and there's another half stop, if that. That's Scott Steele, is it? Who sort of crawling on all fours by the time the ball arrived at him and couldn't quite haul it in, so Critchley picks up his second run.
In Who's Who, one of the questions that they're invited to answer, come back to that in a moment.
Reece on strike, he's gone for the ramp, and he's got the ramp, and he's going to get 4 runs for it as well. He's played that really nicely, hits the advertising boards down below us, picks up another boundary as well. Lewis Reece moves to 35 from 19 at Derbyshire, up to 61 for 3.
Yeah, lovely shot, clever shot, played with a good degree of certainty. Critchley's just tying his shoelaces. So just to finish that, one of the questions is, what animal would you describe yourself as, bless it? But Scott Steele describes himself as a seal, he says, because they're fat and lazy too. So
Parkinson bowls, excellent. So he rates himself. That one is played straight back to Parkinson by Lewis Reece. Oh dear. I thought you were going to say gazelle.
Alas, no.
He's out on the square leg boundary at the moment, near the Singers. Parkinson bowls, this one smashed down the ground. Has he got enough of this one? Has he got enough of this one? Yes, just about, only just about. And it's gone all the way for 6. He probably dropped a foot over the boundary rope, and the fielder was trying to tap it back with his right hand. I'm not sure if that's Griffiths down there in the distance. He's a long way away, and my eyes are very, very poor.
I think it is, but it was a curious attempt to...
Well, he sort of tried to tap it back with his right hand, didn't he? And unfortunately missed it completely. 68 for 3. Reece turns this one. That's the way to do it. Get a 6, get a single, turns it into the leg side, picks up another one, moves to 42. 69 for 3.
In fairness, it was sort of shoulder height when it went across him there. Keep watching.
Yes, he'd have done well, wouldn't he? It would have been one of those miracle catches if it had actually stuck. Parkinson begins his run up. It's not going to take him long to get back to his mark as he aborts it. Critchley's on 2, Reece 42. Critchley on strike, and this time he's driven to the left of Griffiths out there in the distance, if indeed it's still him. And they pick up another single to end the over. 70 for 3, 42 to Reece, 3 to Critchley, 13 off the over with that 6, and that means that Reece has now hit 3 4s and 3 6s in his innings of 42. But Leicestershire will be more than happy to have got rid of Harry Kane, Billy Godwin and Leicestershire Deploy before the halfway mark.
At the moment, Reece is carrying Derbyshire single-handedly towards a challenging total, and while he is there, every possibility for Falcons to a really decent score. In goes Lilly, it slammed to him in the air, so he did get his right hand to it, went very low from Critchley, and as I say, the Lancastrian stuck out a right hand, brushed his fingers, ran down towards long on, single, taken Critchley on to 4. That too would have been something of a miracle catch. Dave's just going to update BBC Radio Derby. We'll be going to the news on BBC Radio Leicester's FM frequency fairly shortly, as in goes Lily, and he's hit for 6. A huge blow, almost onto the top of the pavilion from Lewis. Reece moves on to 48. Say farewell to listeners on BBC Radio Leicester's FM frequency. Gone to the news now, but back with you on DAB as in goes Lily, bowls to Reece, who tries to swing it away down the leg side, almost topples over, doesn't get anything on it. Inglis takes the bails off just in case, because as I say, had toppled slightly, he went down on one knee, but his foot was still firmly in the crease. Lily is in again, driving in the air for a few feet, but well wide of Lily, out towards long off. Reece moves on to 49. It's been a superb effort from the all-rounder, from the Derbyshire all-rounder so far. 49 off 25 balls, 49 out of 78 for 3. In goes Lily, bowls to Critchley, who's down the wicket, getting to the pitch of it and driving it out, but only as far as Will Davies, who's at long on. Throws back over Lily's head all the way to Inglis, singleton by Critchley. He moves on to 5 off 6 balls. Reece approaching his 50, would be his second consecutive 50, of course. Made 59 off 32 against Lancashire. Lily is in, bowls to him, not on that ball though. It's a good ball from Lily that all Reece can do is stroke back to him on the bounce. End of the over. 79 for 3, 9 off it, including that one massive 6 over wide long on. So 9 overs, 79 for 3. Innings not exactly in the balance, because only 3 wickets down, 79 on the board. It's solid enough now for Derbyshire, and they can certainly think in terms of 160, 70, maybe even more, and that will take some getting. The rope is out a long way. It hasn't been really brought in that much at this big Uptonsteel county ground. Will Davies coming on to replace Callum Parkinson. You can see Dave on the stream in the commentary box next door, updating BBC Radio Derby as in goes Davies and bowls, driven by Critchley out towards the wide extra cover boundary, but Griffiths puts in the slide in front of the electronic scoreboard and makes sure it is just a couple, so Critchley has to settle for moving on to 7, 81 for 3. Will Davies just bowled a couple of overs against Lancashire yesterday. None for 19. He took down the slope from the Bennett end. He bowls a slower ball, but it's down the leg side and will be signalled wide. Critchley tried to advance down the wicket and flick it on down to fine leg. Didn't get anything on it as it floated past his legs. 82 for 3. Have to bowl that one again, Will Davies. 3 men out on the boundary on the leg side. Parkinson at short, fine leg, outside off stump, beautifully steered down to third man by Critchley. It wasn't a great delivery, it was a foot wide of off stump, and it was more or less length, just waited for it and used the pace of the ball. Matt Critchley with third man up on the edge of the circle, also backward point, ditto, no third man. Helped himself, knew exactly where he wanted to put that one and did. 86 for 3. Critchley very much coming to the party alongside Reece as in goes Davies and bowls to him. That is the slower ball, cut down to third man, but not down to third man because the diving Naveen, who we know has got a very good pair of hands, dives away to his right at short third man, manages to stop the ball, so it'll be just a single on this occasion to Critchley. He moves on to 12, 87 for 3. Fletcher's back just in time to potentially describe Lewis Reece's half century, his second consecutive.
He's done all right, hasn't he, in this
Brilliantly.
game? Davies in and bowls to him, and he pushes it up towards long on, and it is a half century for Lewis Reece. His second in 2 matches, 27 deliveries with 3 4s and 4 6s. And it's a good job he's out there because he's carrying Derbyshire. He's on 50, Derbyshire 88 for 3.
It's been brilliant. There was the one appeal for a catch behind, but obviously wasn't. Otherwise, hit so cleanly.
There's a man who can hit the ball cleanly when he gets going, Matt Critchley, and he just turns this one into the leg side. And they pick up another single as it's fielded there by Aaron Lilly. Good throw back in as well. And, oh, no, because he bowled a wide, didn't he? 89 for 3 it is. 10 off the over so far. As we approach the halfway stage, I think both sides will probably be relatively pleased. 3 wickets down, 89 on the board. Reece waits and lifts this out into the leg side. He's going to be caught, is he? Yes, no, he's dropped. It was a difficult chance out there in the deep. Colin Ackerman tumbled as well, had to go forward, and they're always so difficult. They're finger breakers, aren't they? That kind of opportunity, but they scamper through for a single, I believe. Although the scoreboard's gone on to something else, so Reece is on to 51, having survived that chance. Critchley on 13, and Derbyshire 90 for 3 at the end of the over.
He just seemed to misread it a little bit. He was just a little bit slow coming in, and Ackerman's probably got the best pair of hands, certainly when he's fielding in the slips at Leicestershire. So there was a collective groan from the seats out there, and I'm not surprised because Reece going so well, and that was a chance for Leicestershire just to put a little bit of brake on what is becoming a very dangerous partnership as far as the Foxes are concerned. 90 off 10. Well, I can certainly think in terms of 170, maybe even 180 now, and that, as I say, will be a seriously challenging score. Griffiths coming back from the pavilion end, replacing Aaron Lilly. Went for 15 from his first over. In he comes. Reece is going to try and reverse ramp and is bowled by a Yorker. So Lewis Reece, having just survived chance off the bowling at the other end, tries to get a little bit funky to the bowling of Griffiths from the pavilion end. Across the line he goes with an attempted reverse sort of sweep, pull, ramp, whatever. It was a full delivery and he lost his bails.
Strange shot really, wasn't it?
It was.
In the circumstances, first delivery of a new over and going well, having just been given a chance, even though it was a very tough chance for Colin Ackerman. So that's a bit of a blow for Derbyshire to be 4 down now. Alex Hughes has gone out to join Matt Critchley. He batted quite nicely at Old Trafford, did Alex Hughes, 28 from 19. Undone by Matt Parkinson, as so many have been over the years. In fact, it was when he and Leicestershire Ploy were dismissed by Parkinson in successive balls in the 18th over, I think. That's when Derbyshire's hopes of getting those extra 15 runs pretty much disappeared, with 2 fresh batsmen out there facing the final 2.5 overs or so.
Ackerman will feel a bit better, as will Griffiths. I think he probably is now the top wicket taker in the country in the competition with 5. In he goes and bowls just outside of stump. Hughes up on his toes, working it down to third man. Runs the first one quickly, just in case there's a fumble. There isn't. Steele comes in off the third man ropes, picks up cleanly and gets his throw away. So just a single for Alex Hughes.
Got to look for those fumbles, though. There have been 1 or 2.
There
have been 1 or 2, and like you say, they're the ones that the coach really hate, because it's something that you work on all week. It's something you can control. Ball on the floor, attack the ball, throw it in.
Davis, Griffiths and Ackerman in conclave down at mid-off on the edge of the circle. Ackerman runs back across to extra cover, shortish extra cover, fairly conventional there. He's there to stop one. In goes Griffiths and bowls it in the air by Critchley, waiting for it. Worked through mid-on. Naveen comes in from the long gone boundary. He's got a good arm, as you would expect. A really good throw. on the bounce to Inglis. Make sure that is just a single. Critchley onto 14, 92 for 4.
It was a bit aerial though, wasn't it, off the bat initially?
1 for 17 for Griffiths from 1.3 overs. In he goes, past umpire White. And Bowles might just have held that back a touch, worked away by Hughes out towards mid-wicket, who picks up and turns and throws in the same action at the non-striker's end. Hughes had made his ground pretty comfortably, that said.
Like a double play there, as Ackerman backed it up and then threw it to the keeper. Should be allowed.
It whizzes around, doesn't it?
Should be allowed double plays, don't you? That'd be great, wouldn't it?
When they're doing those warm-ups. So a double allowed, do you mean, as in
get both out?
Get both out at once.
Yeah, you can get 2 out in well, you can have a triple play, but they're very rare in baseball. But double play is quite standard.
Griffiths is in 2. Critchley outside off stump, chopped down to third man for 4. He did it in the previous over against Davis. He's done it now against Griffiths. Used the pace of the ball, waited for it, not tried to hit it too hard. Knew where the gaps, or in terms on the boundaries at least, were to be held, were to be taken, and found it behind Rishi Patel at backward point down to the third man boundary. And the Melton Building Society family stand for 4. So Critchley picking up where Reece left off. He moves on to 18.
Beer and Balti in the big tent.
All good. All nice. Some lovely smells when you walk around the ground. Can't get across there now, sadly. In goes Griffiths and Bowles, pulled by Critchley violently, but only as far as mid-wicket. Lilly comes in off the ropes, throws on the bounce to Inglis. 1 taken. 98 for 4 then after 11. Critchley has moved on to 19. Hughes has 2. A much better over from Griffiths from his first, but even so, 8 from it.
Yeah.
And a wicket, though. That was the main thing as far as Leicestershire were concerned, up to a point. If they can get Critchley as well.
Yeah, that would be huge, wouldn't it? Still they can guess the wicket keeper. Alex Thompson, Finn Hudson, Prentice, Logan Van Beek. They bat all the way down. Mikey Cohen can hold a bat. Critchley on strike then as Callum Parkinson comes in towards us, and the ball is pushed back towards him, and he dives to his left and gets a hand to the ball but can't prevent the single from being taken. Critchley moves on to 20, 99 for 4. Strike rate 143 thereabouts for Matt Critchley. Lewis Reece 51 from 29, but then rather threw it away, but it's difficult to say. Batsmen are throwing it away in T20 cricket, isn't it? They try all sorts of things. If it comes off, you just stand there with your mouth open in amazement. Alex Hughes on 2 pushes this one back to Parkinson, and this time Parkinson could just bend down to his right to pick the ball up and walk very casually back to his mark. The men in the offside walk prowling in as he clips this into the leg side, does Hughes. They run the first one very quickly. They're not going to get back for the second as Ben Mike is there and throws it to Inglis. Yeah, not the greatest. And Inglis shows his disdain by booting it to extra cover.
If Ben Mike has nobbled Leicestershire's overseas batsman with that throw.
Dear. Parkinson around the wicket. Critchley's beaten by that one. That must have turned. I think it's, well, if it's buys, no, it's taken the edge. It's taken the edge, and the keeper really no chance. He's standing right up to the stumps as you'd expect to a spinner, but them's the chances you've got to take, I suppose. And Critchley gets 4 more, but that one beat him completely. As it, well, I don't know. It was just a leading edge, really, wasn't it? The keeper stood no chance. What am I talking about? Absolutely no chance. Critchley moves on to 24. Parkinson in again. Critchley pushes this one back to him. He almost gets in a tangle, Parkinson, with Alex Hughes. I'm sure that these 3, the 2 batsmen and Parkinson, will have played together during Parkinson's brief spell on loan with Derbyshire a few seasons ago. He's in once more. And back into his crease goes Hughes. Pushes it aerially past Parkinson's left hand. He puts the dive in but can't get there. Critchley picks up another run. He moves on to 25. Hughes has 3. Derbyshire at the end of 12 overs are 105 for 4 now. Just 7 runs off that over. They need a couple of big overs from somewhere, do Derbyshire.
They've got the basis for a good score though here, haven't they? They can just go on.
Still 2 overs of the slow balls from Naveen ul Haq to negotiate, though. I don't fancy a lower order batsman against that when the top order couldn't really handle it.
Well, here's going to be the first of them. So they're going to try and get one or both of Critchley and Hughes. Critchley looking good on 25 off 17. Can he go on and make a really potentially decisive contribution? What will he make of Naveen, who is in again from the pavilion end and bowling? Fairly conventional delivery outside off stump that's driven away. Not too much foot movement from Critchley down through the vacant mid-off area down towards Steele at long off. Naveen dived rather spectacularly away to his left without getting anything on it. Single taken. Critchley on to 26.
Enthusiastic, though.
Oh, he gives it everything.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely
A
brilliant.
couple of Afghan flags over there, or Afghan colours on the flag, on the blue flag. Naveen is in. He sort of shortens his stride as he comes to the wicket and does bowl a slower ball. Hughes wisely awaits and then turns his wrists and pushes it out through mid-on down towards long on. Just got a little bit too much on it in terms of taking a second, and Davis was able to get there and prevent it.
He almost stutters, doesn't he? He stutters like he's losing his run up, and he wants to get to he needs to get to the crease at the right time, which obviously bowlers have to do. But he starts off with quite long strides, and they really shorten.
He obviously likes to be. He turned a couple of pirouettes a couple of times at the end of his mark, but I don't know why. Critchley was ready all the time. He waits as in goes Naveen and bowls to him. That is the slower ball. Critchley tries to get it away through the offside, can't. Finds Ackerman at extra cover. Did have to readjust visibly. Critchley, as it came to him in the end, worked it out into the offside. No run. 107 for 4.
I wonder what you do. You can't guess because that would undo you completely, but you can't tell.
Again, there's a sort of little stutter and turn at the start of his run and a false start, and away he goes and bowls a slower, shorter ball again, and Critchley went back, ready to pull it, had to wait for it on off stump and just push it out into the offside. Ackerman gets there. He's a lot of fun to watch though, this young man. A single is taken on to 27. Critchley, the two batsmen understandably have a word in mid-pitch. What do you make of him?
Yeah.
I've got a clue, mate.
No idea what's happening.
No
idea.
Naveen walks in a few paces, then backs off, back to his mark he goes. That little stutter, then picks up. Oh, it's all over the place. In, and it's a slow bounce, but really well played by Hughes, who waited for it and paddled it away towards long leg. Good diving stop down there, though, by I think Lewis Hill, the way he picks himself up, and he managed to stop it crossing the ropes, knock it back towards Parkinson, and as a consequence, just the 2 to Hughes moves on to 6.
He did well to wait as long as he waited there, Alex Hughes, didn't he? He had to wait an age again as the ball eventually arrived at him and placed it perfectly.
Naveen, 5 from the first 5 balls of the over, tells his backwards square just to go a foot or 2 to his right, and then in he goes past umpire White and bowls, looking for the Yorker, dug out by Hughes, but it was a fairly conventional Yorker length delivery, but much applause from the Leicestershire faithful. They like what they see of Naveen ul Haq, and who wouldn't when he has taken 2 for 17 from 3 overs.
Yeah, the good thing from a Derbyshire perspective is that he's only got 1 left, so whoever's out there when he's bowling, beware, because it's not easy. Colin Ackerman's going to come back now.
You just scratched your ear on camera beautifully.
Excellent. Well, it gets itchy under these. Yeah, it gets itchy. So, Ackerman begins a new over. It's turned into the leg side by Matt Critchley for a single out to Aaron Lilly.
I have begged for some sort of red light on it or something.
Well,
that
at least
shows
it was
where
on in my ear.
Exactly.
Oh.
Sooner or later it's going.
Oh yeah. I have to sit on my hands. Ackerman in, bowls to Hughes, who pulls this around the corner down the deep backward square leg. Ben Mike's there, does the fielding. They pick up another single. Hughes to 712 for 4. There's 6 overs and 4 balls remain of the Derbyshire innings, as that one is clipped nicely by Matt Critchley out into the leg side. Lilly again does the fielding. Again, it's just a single.
8.5 run rate at the moment, so looking at 170-ish.
Just need a couple of big overs. There's a reverse come out from Alex Hughes here. He's got it over the fielder who was standing on the edge of the circle, and it's going to run away for 4 as well. There's a bonus for Derbyshire. It was a well executed shot in the end from Alex Hughes. Just for a moment, his heart would have been in his mouth though, as the ball just about got over Scott Steele. He was right on the edge of the circle, but a boundary for Hughes, who moves to 11, 117 for 4. Ackerman is in. This is a conventional, well, it's a slog sweep in the air. One bounce down to deep backward square leg for 4 runs. Not a good delivery from Colin Ackerman on that occasion. Just straight in line. And Hughes was all over it very quickly. And back-to-back boundaries makes the scoreboard look far more pleasing from a Derbyshire perspective than it had done.
Big over.
Big over. 21 for 4. 11 off it so far with 1 to go. I was wondering whose maths would get them there first then. Ackerman's in, bowls, and this one is clipped into the leg side by Hughes. There might be 2 here. They're thinking about it. They're coming back for 2, and there's a misfield. Aaron Lilly didn't pick the ball up cleanly, and they do go through for 2. And 13 runs off the over. 123 for 4 with 6 to go, Derbyshire. And that was the over that they were looking for, the big over. Can they get another one? Although it's going to be Parkinson from the pavilion end. Ackerman 3 overs for 30. No mention of the world record in.
No.
No.
Not at this one. Oh, very well at Old Trafford.
It's T20 cricket, isn't it?
Yeah.
One
Ups
night,
and
the
downs.
next night, well, it makes no difference. How bold in the previous match.
Parkinson then, still looking for his first wicket in the competition this season. Bowls just outside off stump, a little bit short as well. Cut away by Critchley out towards Ben Mike, who's on the extra cover boundary. Gets there about 10 yards inside the ropes, keeps it to just 1. Critchley on to 30 from 23, brings Hughes back down on strike, going equally well. 17 off 11, strike rate of over 150 for Alex Hughes. Round the wicket goes. Parkinson tosses that one up bravely, hit hard back into the ground, and back to him by Hughes. Nice loop on that delivery.
It's good cricket, that, isn't it?
Parkinson it was, yeah. Next one will probably be fired in. Let's have a look. Parkinson is in. No, he doesn't. Holds it back a little bit, waits for it. Hughes cuts it away through the offside, but again another good delivery. And Mike is the fielder, obviously wearing an elastic bandage on his left arm. Ben Mike doesn't seem to be having too many issues though. Parkinson is in to Critchley, who advances to meet him. Gets to it almost on the full, almost sort of Yorker length, and another fumble by a Leicestershire fielder. This time Will Davis picks it up at the second attempt, but it's too late in terms of preventing a second run. Parkinson, a little bit of a teapot, and understandably so, behind the stumps. It's really, by Leicestershire standards, has been an ordinary display in the field. Their out cricket hasn't been great.
It was good work by Matt Critchley to spot it. Had to call Hughes through quickly.
Parkinson is in again, in the air, and bounce into the ground and up. Nice right-handed take by Parkinson. But for a second,
First crowd
I
catch of
like
the
the
season.
crowd. For a minute, it was on the full. It wasn't. Parkinson in again. Critchley goes for the sweep, thinks about an appeal. Parkinson realised it was going a long way down the leg side, so got out of the over pretty well. In fact, it wasn't a bad over, just the 4 runs from it. Parkinson, though, first 2 games of the season in T20. Unfortunately for him, wicketless, but he'll be a lot happier with his bowling in this game than he was at Old Trafford, where he went for, I think it was 42 off his 4 overs.
Yeah, 6.8. The runs per over he's conceded. He'd be more than happy with that, Callum Parkinson, I'm sure. And Will Davis gets the opportunity to atone for his mishap in the field when he allowed Matt Critchley to scramble through for 2 runs when there was only 1 really, because he's coming on to bowl now.
Partnership 37 now.
5 overs to go. 127 for 4. Got to be looking at. They've got to be looking for 170. I don't know quite when those kind of things pop into batsmen's minds.
It's a good score here, 170.
Yeah.
It's a challenging score.
Davies into bowl to Hughes, who's driven this down the ground for 4. That's a decent start to the over for Derbyshire as well. He made it on the full by advancing towards Will Davies, and Alex Hughes crashes under the boundary. His 3rd, he moves to 22, and Derbyshire to 131 for 4. Nice shot.
You've got 4 men out on the boundary on the leg side.
Don't bowl it wide of the off stump on the full. Oh, he turned it into a full toss, Alex Hughes, didn't he, on that occasion? A couple of steps down the track. 22 from 14 he's got at the moment as Davies bowls to him, and he pulls this one into the leg side, and that's going to be 4 more. 1 bounce out to the mid-wicket boundary.
Whoop, over the geary bar.
8 from the first 2 deliveries of the Will Davies over. Alex Hughes has got them both. He's moved to 26 now. Derbyshire to 135 for 4. They had a big over, 13 run over from Colin Ackerman. Previous over from the indoor school, and no, nobody's allowed to touch it. Oh, they can't. Nobody can touch it.
Hopefully it hasn't bounced through the railings. No, it hasn't.
Wouldn't have been too far away from David Griffin, who's out there at mid-wicket, unusually. So they're taking the opportunity to have a quick drink here, the 2 batsmen. 1 or 2 players stretching out. Has he got back to the umpire?
He has.
Oh,
David Mills
he's having a look at it.
Carefully.
He might just give it a wipe with an alcohol-covered cloth. Somebody's got overexcited by the arrival of the cloth, or of the 12th man, unless he fell over, tripped over the rope or something that I didn't see away to the right.
His teammates weren't very sympathetic.
No. Hoots of derision from the Derbyshire dugout. They're not really dugouts at the moment for obvious reasons, but here's Davies then. Back-to-back boundaries for Alex Hughes. Davies is in, and this one is off on edge, and it's 4 more. In between the wicket-keeper and the man at short 3rd man, which is almost a slip, but he had absolutely no chances. He went hard at that one, Alex Hughes. He's decided that his former teammate Will Davies has to go here, and he's gone for 12 off the first 3 deliveries of the over. He's moved on to 30 from just 16 deliveries with 5 boundaries as Alex Hughes. 139 for 4 now, Derbyshire. 4.5 overs of their innings remain. Hughes waits, and this time takes a couple of steps down the track and drives it. Good stop by the man at mid-off. Moving across to his right, and means they can only get through for a single.
Thought that was gone as well.
Yeah, so did I initially. Stopped it nicely, didn't he, Colin Ackerman? Just diving to his right. Come on, Will, get through your overs, mate. I've got an update in 2 minutes.
Yes.
13 runs from the first 4 deliveries of the over. Here's Matt Critchley back on strike now. Davies bowls to him. It's a horrible full toss that's turned into the leg side. They've run 1, they come back for a second. There's a half a fumble from Ben Mike, but he recovers in time, and really that delivery ought to have gone to the boundary as well. They picked up 2, Critchley to 34, Derbyshire 142 for 4.
Head's a bit down, isn't it, with Will Davies at the moment?
Yes.
Struggling a little bit.
Yes.
Been injured for much of the first part of the season and couldn't get into the red ball side.
He's come in to complete this over. Bowls a fullish delivery that Critchley pushes out into the offside. He'll pick up a single from the final ball of the over. 16 runs from it. 143 for 4 with 4 overs to go.
Davies, 2 overs, none for 27. I think his work with the ball may be done for the evening, walking very slowly back to his fielding position with his head bowed, understandably so. 143 for 4 with 4 overs to go. If they can get 40, off those 4 overs, and they possibly can with Hughes and Critchley going as well as they are, then the Falcons will have a score of over 180, which will take some getting. You're certainly always in the game with a score over 160, 180. I think you win more often than not, the record suggests. Gavin Griffiths back on at the pavilion end is in and bowling, and clubbed rather by Critchley out towards Davis, who fumbles, and as a result Critchley is able to get back for a second. He was always going to go for the second, I think, anyway. Davis just didn't manage to pick it up cleanly at the first attempt. It popped up. He had to wait for it to pop back down. He wipes his hands on the turf down below me. But as I say, he looks a little bit downcast at the moment, Will Davis. Leicestershire body language is uncharacteristically flat. Shouts of encouragement from Naveen at long on as Griffiths is in down the pitch, and he's hit his teammate there. Critchley clubbed it back towards Hughes, who tried to leap out of the way, couldn't get there. Hopefully it hit his pads. Just have to have a look at the replay. Critchley and Hughes touch gloves. Well, it would only have been a single, and no runs as a consequence resulted after it dropped essentially at Hughes' feet, but obviously hit a padded bit. He's okay anyway, which is good to see. 145 for 4 remains the score. Griffiths looks around him, big deep breath, and he's ready to go now. He breaks into a much longer stride and comes in and bowls, and is pulled over mid-wicket for 6. Dropped a little bit short. It wasn't a slower ball, and a sort of short-armed pull by Critchley. Hit it beautifully cleanly, high over Lewis Hill into the popular seats, as they are often known, alongside the meet, the yellow bucket seats, the Uptonsteel stand over there. And beginning to go around the park, Leicestershire here. 61 the partnership now of just 38 balls. Critchley has 30 of those, 61. Hughes has 31, but Critchley is actually on 43. Ackerman directing traffic a little bit, making changes, but not much you can do when the ball is sailing 10 feet over the ropes. Griffiths too then being treated with some disdain by Falcons' batting lineup.
Nice shot that from Critchley, there, wasn't it? Crisp.
Bam.
Really
Short arm.
crisp, yeah.
No great follow through, just a really beautiful piece of timing. 150 up for the Falcons, with still 3.3 overs remaining. I said 180, could be even more. In goes Griffiths, bowls, full toss outside off stump that will be signalled wide. A slower ball that went wrong. He looks back a little surprised towards umpire White, but I don't think he had too much surprise to be surprised about. Looked pretty wide.
He did try to hit it, didn't he, Matt Critchley? But he had to reach a long way and still couldn't. I thought it went over his bat, actually. That's perhaps why Griffiths was a little bit surprised, but
I suspect it was outside the blue line. Feed is got a little bit behind on my computer screen. It could be my computer.
About a quarter of an hour behind there.
Goes Griffiths and bowls outside off stump, smashed away through wide extra cover for 4 more. And again, the body language of the Foxes isn't great out there. It's characteristically flat. It was not a great delivery. Critchley clubbed it away through the offside, obviously nowhere near the pitch of it. Obviously the bat was nowhere near the vertical, but boy did it hit the middle. And he's a strong man, Critchley, and he too now approaching his half century.
Yeah, he's batted nicely.
Waits with bat raised as Griffiths is in and bowls to him, hits high over long on for a massive 6, almost out of the ground, almost into the pub. What a way to go to 50. Well batted, Matt Critchley. What a shot that was, though. Picked it up beautifully and clubbed it maybe 15, maybe even 20 feet over the ropes, and I think it was just about saved by the edge of the pavilion from going over the wall at the back of the ground, but it was perilously close to going into the cricketers' pub. 53 to Critchley off just 33 balls.
Second six to go along with 4 fours, 33 balls. He's second in T20 cricket. Well, he's been batting more at 6 and 7 than 5 where he's batting this season. I suppose that makes quite a big difference.
He's putting Derbyshire in a very strong position. Griffiths is in, bowls a horrible full toss, might be signalled no ball on height, will be signalled no ball on height. He steered it away to third man and picked up one, but umpire Milnes is signalling a no ball on height. Free hit time. It goes from bad to worse.
They can
for
change
Leicestershire.
the field though, that's the good news. Because the batsman took a single.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how good a news it is. But
Might not help too much. We shall see. Free hit. First one Leicestershire have conceded. Ackerman looking stern out there. Understandably so, perhaps. Not great stuff. Griffiths is in. Steps across his ground. Creamed by Hughes out towards the point boundary for 4 more. What an over this has been for the Falcons. Began on 143 and they are now on 169, so 26 from the over. Wow.
So they needed a big over. Well, they've had 2 in a row there. Will Davies's went for 16 and then Gavin Griffiths' for 26, 42 runs in the last 2 overs. This partnership worth 79 now. 35 of those runs to Alex Hughes, 41 of them to Matt Critchley, and those 79 runs have come from 42 balls. It's been quite the onslaught. Although it hasn't been full on, has it? Really, there have been times when they've been relatively becalmed. When Callum Parkinson was bowling, and certainly when Naveen Ul-Haq was bowling. So we're going to see Ben Mike for the first time tonight. It's always interesting, isn't it, when the captain turns to somebody for the first time in an innings with 3 overs to go. That rather suggests that it's not happening for the bowlers he'd planned on using, unless this was a plan to bring Ben Mike on for the anti-penultimate over of the innings.
Well, I'd be very surprised if that was the case. He didn't bowl, obviously, at Old Trafford, Ben. He's a wicket-taking bowler, which means he sometimes is a little bit inconsistent.
Oh dear. I don't think you want inconsistent from a Leicestershire perspective.
He can't do much worse, can he?
True. Bowling to Matt Critchley, and Critchley just guides this down to the short third man. They'll pick up a single. There was Callum Parkinson down there, absolutely no intention of throwing the ball anywhere, just lobbed it back to the wicket-keeper Josh Inglis as they picked up a single. Now he's scratching away at the footmarks, Ben Mike.
Crowd trying to lift Leicestershire.
And if he's got his bowling boots on, he might not even have his bowling boots on. Caught by surprise by the skip. Ben, what now? I was just over there by the curry. He's coming into bowl to Alex Hughes, who's on 35, and that's down the leg side. Will be signalled a wide. Inevitable, I'm afraid. Any bowler knows that in T20 cricket.
And they nearly conceded an extra there because Inglis threw the ball back up the pitch towards Mike, who turned his back on it. And there was almost confusion between the Derbyshire batsmen. Hughes wanted the run and advanced halfway up the pitch, but Critchley understandably had also turned his back.
Nobody was looking. I wasn't watching.
No.
I wasn't watching. 171 for 4. Mike in, bowls, and that one is clubbed down the ground for a single by Alex Hughes, who thinks about coming back for a second for some reason. There isn't a second on. He moves on to 36. Critchley 55. I'm not sure he's got time to get to his high score in T20 cricket, which is 72 not out.
And he wants one more over then.
Alex Hughes on the other hand, his high score in T20 cricket is 43 not out.
Well, a day for setting records perhaps.
Critchley waits. Mike bowls to, he turns it into a full toss and it thuds into his pad, possibly off an inside edge, dribbles out into the offside. There was an inside edge because there's no signal from the umpire. Very messy, yeah.
Symptomatic
in
of
fact,
the way
Hughes and Critchley were almost at the same end, which is never a good thing.
Just, as I say, just the way Leicester have been in the field. It's all a little bit quiet and
Yes,
flat.
it does seem quite flat now, doesn't it? Even the raucous singers have stopped singing. They may have nipped somewhere momentarily, of course, as Mike bowls to Hughes, who gets a short delivery and basically pushes it up towards long on. That's a good piece of fielding out there in the deep to keep them down to 2, actually. That might be Will Davis. Is it Griffiths? I beg your pardon. How far away are they?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And my eyes are poor. I'm just a weak old man. 175 for 4, who needs to go to the opticians. Here's Mike. Hughes on 38. Lifts this down the ground now, then it's straight to Griffiths, who takes the catch, and Hughes has gone, and he's annoyed with himself. He's dismissed for 38, and a much needed wicket for Leicestershire there. He'd hit 6 fours in a 21 ball innings, but he's perished. And Ben Mike, when he said he was a wicket taker, and he's taken a wicket. No, the catch was taken at long on. It was a decent enough catch by.
There was a slightly relieved cheer. There wasn't there wasn't a full-blooded cheer from the Leicestershire faithful. It had a slight element of about time to it. 175. The damage, much of the damage from Leicestershire's point of view has been done. Still got 2 overs to go. Can they get 200?
Well, they could, I suppose, but they won't. They might. I've no idea. The batsman at cross side is Matt Critchley on strike. Mike bowls to him, and that's clipped into the leg side for a single. Finn Hudson-Prentice is the new batsman, but he's not going to get to face the delivery because that was the final ball of the over, and a good over it was too. Despite the wide, 7 runs came from it. 176 for 5 now. But importantly, Alex Hughes, who was striking the ball quite nicely, has gone. He and Critchley added 85 in 47 deliveries for the 5th wicket. Now Finn Hudson-Prentice has to take up the Alex Hughes mantle, a more than capable batsman. Interestingly, I'm just trying to work out if he came in ahead of Brookgast at Old Trafford. It looks like he probably did. He was certainly out.
It'll be Critchley on strike on 57. Naveen, to finish his spell, is in. Bowls a short bouncer, slow bouncer that is pulled hard by Critchley, but only as far as long on. And so it will be just a single. Critchley on to 57. If any of the bowlers have emerged with credit, it's been Naveen ul Haq so far. 3.1 overs, 2 for 18.
I'm glad there's only one of him.
The Afghan.
Blind, he's brilliant. He is. He's absolutely brilliant to watch, but you need a bit of the biff as well, so nobody's going to hit him out the ground, are they?
How to describe his run-up? All sorts of fairy steps as he bowls and pulled or attempted to be pulled out into the leg side by Finn Hudson-Prentice, and off the back foot, didn't get anything on it at all. And
look away, look at the toe of his bat. Bat was nowhere near it.
Didn't know quite what to make of him there, I really don't think.
He swished his bat. And the ball wasn't very close to him either, I don't think, when he swished the bat, was it? No.
Naveen is in with those strides of many varying lengths, as is in, and it's a much slower ball, clubbed on the bounce out towards long on. Steele is the fielder. Shouts at him to get it in because he hesitates for some reason, or he pauses for some reason before throwing it on the bounce to Naveen. Hit it hard, but
should get a badge for hitting
straight to
slower ball bouncer from Naveen. Little badge, I've hit Naveen's slower ball bouncer.
Where he's changing the field at the moment. Again, just fiddling with it. Lewis Hill moves a few feet to his left out there on the deep backward square boundary. Naveen is in, bowling to Critchley, looking for the Yorker, and it's a good one, just outside off stump though, so Critchley can reach out and jab it down towards third man. Doesn't hit it cleanly though, and it's a fairly comfortable stop out there for Rishi Patel, who hasn't really been in the game very much at backward point. Griffiths is up at short third man now as well, so it was kind of quite a brave delivery from Naveen or Hack. But Critchley couldn't get it into the gap between Patel and Griffiths. Davis comes up from long off to mid off. So all the fielders on the leg side on the boundary as Naveen is in. A slower ball that has been picked up beautifully and hits the roof of the meat and takes a little chunk out of the corrugated whatever it is that forms the roof of the meat. Just on top of it towards the gutter part, heading towards that big black painted running fox. So Finn Hudson-Prentice can pick at least one of the slower balls.
Decent shot that, wasn't it?
It
decent
was indeed.
Shot. He was leaning a long way back when the ball left his bat, but got plenty of power behind it.
Not used to this, Naveen or Hack in this spell. Picked beautifully by Hudson-Prentice. In he comes to finish his over. Bowls, and it's a full toss that's wiped out towards Ackerman. Now, is that all right on height? Yes, it was, says umpire Milne. It was the slower ball, so they have picked up a wicket from the last ball of the over. Well, probably deserved for Naveen or Hack. Why is Matt Critchley wondering? He's just going to getting a drink as well. And he's going to have a word with the new man coming in. But 185 for 6 with an over to come. But well bowled by Naveen or Hack. 3 wickets for him.
Yeah, 9 off that over, but the wicket, it was almost, I hesitate to use the phrase at this stage, but it was almost a free hit, wasn't it, for Finn Hudson-Prentice, knowing that if he cleared the ropes or got it to the boundary, then it's 4 more to the total and Matt Critchley's facing the last over. Otherwise, he walks back to the pavilion and Matt Critchley's facing the last over, which is exactly what's going to happen here. And Ben Mike, he's going to bowl it, having gone for 7 from his previous over. Derbyshire might take that. Critchley waits and ramps him down over the wicketkeeper's head for 4 runs. I don't think he's quite quick enough to bowl at that length outside the off stump. Critchley had an enormous amount of time to get himself into position to play that shot. And it raced away down to the boundary, just down to our right hand side for 4 more. 189 for 6. They don't score 200 very often. I'm going to have to start scrambling for record books if they get close to it.
It is the stream.
As this next delivery from Mike is, oh, that's a no ball for height, surely. Yes, it is. It'll be a free hit. It's a no ball as well. It passed probably about chest height without bouncing. And that's a ball that slipped. He's trying to do something clever with that, and it's just slipped, hasn't it? Got no chance. So a little bit messy. 191. In fact, the no ball's gone up there, has it? Yes, it has. 191 for 6 as Mike. Free hit to Critchley. Big swing out into the leg side. It's going to go all the way for 6. It does. It clears the rope by 10, 15 feet easily.
Longest boundary as well, I'd say that.
Big hit from Matt Critchley. Derbyshire are moving towards 200. 197 for 6 with 4 balls still to be bowled.
I would say that was the best part of 90 yards, that hit. By the time the ball landed, a good 15 yards on the other side of the ropes. Beautiful pick-up by Critchley. Perfect piece of timing.
He's a beautiful hitter of the ball as Mike is in again, and this one's might be 6 more, but I think it'll drop short of the boundary, will it? No, it's gone for 6. He didn't seem to get enough of that at all to send it away for 6 over extra cover. Terrific blow from Matt Critchley again out towards the covers and the scoreboard, and that is 200 up for Derbyshire. 203 for 6 with 3 to go.
Incredible hitting.
This is the man who at Chesterfield hit 22 off 5 balls to win a T20 against Yorkshire with Tim Bresnan bowling.
He's got 75 off 43 now. Consecutive maximums of Ben Mike.
That 6 took him past his previous highest score in T20 cricket.
So he's 18 off 3 balls, isn't he? Mike, with that no ball.
Yes, he bowls now, and there's a little ramp around the corner. 4 more. There was a dive at the ball from the man at short, fine leg on the circle. Stood no chance. Cameron Steele, and it's 4 more. Well, they're going to set a fairly formidable target here. They've just moved on to 207 for 6. When they were 17 for 1 after 3 overs and Naveen ul-Haq was bowling, if you'd have offered me 200, not only would I have snapped your hand off, I might have chuckled. But this has been a terrific innings from Matt Critchley.
We're going to have to check what the record is for Derbyshire against Leicestershire, but
Yes.
there won't be many times either side have gone past 200 against each other, that is for sure.
Let's see if I can get there before David Griffin does. It seems highly unlikely, of course. The umpire is just having a quick look at the ball now. It's been smashed out of shape by Matt Critchley.
Hello, Tim Singleton's enjoying it, he says. Where's Wayne Madsen, says Phil. He's got a thigh injury.
Thigh injury, yeah, thigh strain for him. So 2 balls of the innings left. Derbyshire 207 for 6. Matt Critchley on strike on 79 from 44 deliveries. Mikey's in, and that one is clipped into the leg side. They're going to look for 2 here, but there is only 1. And he's a little bit annoyed with himself there, Matt Critchley. He's given up the strike off the last ball, but Brooke Guest, who's yet to face a delivery and has been watching the carnage from the non-strikers end, will get an opportunity to swing at this one. Ball is back with the bowler. It's only the 7th time as that one goes down the leg side. Does it go down the leg side? No, it's a bye. It went past the off stump. And there is the end of the innings. 209 for 6. Derbyshire finish up on. It's their 5th highest score in T20 cricket. Would you
display with the ball? 1 or 2 honourable exceptions, most particularly, of course, Naveen ul-Haq, who bowled his 4 overs for just 26 runs and took 3 wickets. Baffled the batsman on a number of occasions with his various slower balls. Everyone else, by and large, pretty much went around the park. Unfortunately, from Leicestershire's point of view, Callum Parkinson 4 overs, none for 27. Colin Ackerman 3 overs, none for 30. Gavin Griffiths, after his brilliant performance yesterday, we saw the other side today, 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 49. Aaron Lilly 2 overs, 1 for 14. Will Davis again with the ball, just the 2 overs yesterday for 19, 2 overs for 27 this time round. And Ben Mike 2 overs, 1 for 30. 9 times out of 10 you feel Derbyshire would win this comfortably, defend this comfortably. Fox's supporters are going to have to hope this is the 10th time.
Remarkable. It was when the Matt Critchley innings was another spell innings from a player who at the start of the Red Ball season being touted as an England prospect for his batting and his leg spin. Obviously he'll see him again with his bowling fairly shortly, but he's a special cricketer, Matt Critchley. There's no question about it. Those 22 runs that he got, whatever it was, against Yorkshire a few years back at Chesterfield, showed the talent that was there. And well, he's produced it in some style here this evening. 45 balls, 6 fours, 4 sixes. His highest score in T20 cricket. Derbyshire's 5th highest score in this form of the game, and only the 7th. Yes, the 7th time. Too many numbers. The 7th time. Holds to Reece. He's pulled around the corner. In fact, he's pulled in front of square by Lewis Reece for the first boundary of the match. Nice shot. Dropped
anyway, in he goes and bowls outside off stump. Nicely worked away by Cayman. I think he's going to pick up 4 on this very fast outfield. Hill is in pursuit. He's not going to. Naveen is in again and bowling it. Pulled through mid-wicket hard and quite flat. It was in the air for a good few feet as it went past fans. is in and bowling to Kane. That is the slower ball. He has skied it. It should be caught by Davis at mid-on and is.
On strike, Ackerman bowls to him and he clouts this over towards long on for 6. Terrific shot from Lewis Reece. First 6 of the match.
As in goes Naveen and bowls a wonderful slower ball that bowls Godleman. All ends up.
Reece has 18. Lees deploys on strike. He takes a step into the leg side and clouts Griffiths back over his head for 4 runs. 2 bounces into the advertising. Oh, proper ground pitch and everything, yeah. Griffiths bowls and that's smashed for 6 by Lewis Reece. That might clear the scoreboard. Not quite. Just long on out on the boundary. As Griffiths is in, Reece pulls it out to square leg, right where that bloke
is in, a little bit short and wide. He's caught behind. Yes, he is. Duploy reaching for a wide one. Had he left it, might even
strike. He's gone for the ramp, and he's got the ramp, and he's going to get 4 runs for it as well. He's played that really nicely. Hits the advertising boards down below us. Picks up another boundary. Parkinson bowls. This one smashed down the ground. Has he got enough of this one? Has he got enough of this one? Yes, just about. Only just about.
And it's on BBC Radio Leicester's FM frequency fairly shortly, as in goes Lily, and he's hit for 6. A huge side. Parkinson at short, fine leg outside off stump, beautifully steered down to third man by Critchley. It wasn't a great delivery. It was a foot wide.
Bowls to him, and he pushes it up towards long on, and it is a half century for Lewis Reece. His second 2 match.
Over, in he comes. Reece is going to try and reverse ramp and is bowled by a Yorker. So Lewis Reece, having just survived. Griffiths is in 2. Critchley outside off stump, chopped down to third man for 4. He did it in the previous over against Davis. He's done it now against
side. War prowling in as he clips this into the leg side. Does Hughes? They run the first one very quickly. They're not going to get back for the second around the wicket. Critchley's beaten by that one. That must have turned. I think it's. Well, if it's buys, no, it's taken the edge. It's taken the edge, and the keeper really reverse come out from Alex Hughes here. He's got an overfielder who was standing on the edge of the circle, and it's going to run away for 4 as well. There's a bonus for Derbyshire. Ackerman is in. This is a conventional, it's a slog sweep in the air. 1 bounce down to deep backward square leg for 4 runs. Not a cinder bowl to Hughes, who's driven this down the ground for 4. That's a decent start to the over for Derbyshire as well. He made it on the full by advancing towards Will Davis. As Davis bowls to him, and he pulls this one into the leg side, and that's going to be 4 more. 1 bounce out to the mid-wicket boundary. For Alex Hughes. Davis is in, and this one is off on edge, and it's 4 more in between the wicket keeper and the man at short third man, which is all. Hughes waits, and this time takes a couple of steps down the track and drives it. Good stop by the man at mid off.
Breaks into a much longer stride and comes in and bowls, and is pulled over mid-wicket for 6. Dropped a little bit short. It wasn't a slower ball, and Griffiths and bowls outside off stump, smashed away through wide extra cover for 4 more. And again, the body language. Griffiths is in and bowls to him, hits high over long on for a massive 6, almost out ground, almost is in, steps across his ground, creamed by Hughes out towards the point boundary for 4 more. What an over this has been.
He was on 38. Lifts this down the ground now, then it's straight to Griffiths, who takes the catch, and Hughes
is in. A slower ball that has been picked up beautifully and hits the roof of the and takes a little chunk. That's Prentice. In he comes to finish his over, bowls, and it's a full toss that's wiped out towards Ackerman. Now, is that all right on height? Yes, it was.
Take that. Critchley waits and ramps him down over the wicketkeeper's head for 4 runs. I don't think he's quite big swing out into the leg side. It's going to go all the way for 6. It does. It clears the rope by 10, 15 feet easily.
Longest bound.
With the ball as Mike is in again, and this one's might be 6 more, but I think it'll drop short of the boundary, will it? No, it's gone for 6. He didn't seem to get it. He bowls now. There's a little ramp around the corner. 4 more. There was a dive at the ball from the man at short, fine leg on the circle. Stood
Who scored a good unbeaten half-century against Lancashire last night, is going to face the first ball. Yes, indeed he is, the former Durham man. 54 not out, or 52 balls, but they're going to need more from him than that this time round, Leicestershire. Umpire White waves at the scorers, make sure that they're ready to go. They are. And it is going to be Van Beek who's going to open bowling for the Falcons from the pavilion end. He's got to slip in, so Godalming on the attack at the start. He probably won't be there for more than a ball or two, but you never know the way things have gone. As in goes Van Beek and bowls, and it's hit, and it's going to be caught, and is caught. Steele goes first ball, cross batted swipe, came off the top part of the bat, and in the end a fairly comfortable catch for Billy Godalming on the edge of the circle at mid off. So the Foxes' innings could not have got off to a worse start. Yesterday's unbeaten half-centurion goes first ball. The batsmen did cross, which is about the only thing that's going right for Leicestershire at the moment. It means Inglis will be on strike, but needing 210 to win. Leicestershire are 0 for 1. Godalming, comfortable catch in the end. For a second I thought it was going to drop over his head at mid-off on the edge of the circle, but as I say, top part of the bat, and just dropped comfortably into his two waiting hands held above his head. Inglis takes guard from umpire Rob White. It's a chance for Aaron Lilly to have at least a little bit of a look at the bowling of Van Beek. Tall, blonde, haired, number 37 on his back as he runs in and bowls to Inglis, who works it away, or tries to work it away off his legs, clips it out towards mid-on, only as far as mid-on, and there is no run. Stunned, really, the Uptonsteel County ground at the moment. Can't quite believe what's happening. It's going to take a heck of a turnaround from here as Van Beek is in, drops a little bit short, whipped away off his legs, but only as far as long leg by Inglis, not taken cleanly by, I think it's Reece down there, throws in left-handed on the bounce to the wicket-keeper. But he got his throw away quickly, that was the main thing, and it made sure that Inglis couldn't turn for the second. 1 for 1 after 3 balls. Leicestershire brings Lilly down on strike. Still got the slip in. Van Beek is in past umpire White and bowls to Lilly, who has a horrible push at the ball, flat-footed, no sort of drive at all, doesn't get anything on it, goes through to the keeper. Dot ball. And I suspect slightly disbelieving Dave Fletcher has reappeared alongside me.
Did I miss anything? What was that all about? I know I said they had to get off to a good start, but have a look. Yeah.
It's grinning Billy Godalming.
I was going to say there are a lot of smiling Derbyshire players out there.
And Beek is in. Lilly makes room, hits it in the air, just short of Godalming at mid-off, who flings him, having stopped the ball one way or another. It wasn't a catch, it was just short of him. He did well to stop it, that then rolls, and an indication of the good spirits among the Derbyshire team at the moment. A little bit of gymnastic work, unnecessary, but he's enjoying himself at the moment, Godalming, and he's keeping his slip in until the very end of the over. Just a single from it and a wicket so far. 1 for 1 from the first 5 balls of what one feels is critical power play as far as Leicestershire are concerned. Van Beek is in, drops a little bit short. Lilly works it out into the offside. Is Inglis going to be run out? Had the throw hit. Lilly would have run out. Inglis dived in. The throw just missed the stumps. 2 for 1 after 1 over Leicestershire.
I'm pleased for Logan Van Beek because everybody knows it. He's a replacement for Billy Stanlake. Make no two bones about it. But he is a very fine cricketer. He's a better cricketer now than he was when he was with Derbyshire in 2019. No question about that either, as Alex Thompson prepares to come on for the first over from the cricket school end. But yeah, I'm really pleased for him. He didn't bowl his full allocation up at Old Trafford, which I was slightly perturbed by, but these things happen. Matthew Finlayson-Prentice only bowled 1 over and took 2 for 9. So Alex Thompson, who's on loan from, I suppose he's on loan from Birmingham in this competition, then he'll be on loan from Warwickshire when they return to red ball cricket. Right arm spin around the wicket. Oh, and that one almost dribbles onto the stumps. I thought it hit the bat. Big appeal for leg before wicket against Aaron Lilly.
Hasn't moved his feet so far in any of the deliveries that he's faced, really. Lilly.
Slightly open stance. Brooke Guest crouches down behind the stumps as Thompson is in. This time he does move his feet and it's gone up in the air. It's gone over Billy Godleman and it's carrying on going and it's just bounced inside the boundary rope and gone over it. Wasn't hit with as much gusto potentially as he might have wanted to have done there, and Billy Godleman would have been interested for a few moments, but no chance of getting out there to the boundary. And 4 runs to the total. Leicestershire moved to 6 for 1.
Well, Birmingham had a pretty good innings as well. 229 for 5
Oof.
they made against Notts.
Oh, that's not too bad as long as it was against Notts. Thompson is in, reverse comes out. That's going to be another boundary. This one's up 1 bounce for 4 down to what would have been a wide third man. Ended up being a deep backward square leg once the switch hit came out from Aaron Lilly. Back-to-back boundaries, and Thompson was expensive on Wednesday afternoon. That's when we played up at Old Trafford. Who am I? What day of the week is it? 10 for 1. Lilly's gone on to 9 from 6, and this time he just dabs it down to the man on the edge of the circle, Harry Kane. First involvement in the field for the young man who makes his debut this evening in place of Wayne Manson. No run. He's fielding at short third. Now, that's a horrible position. The sweep, the reverse comes out again. This one's gone for 6. That's a big blow. Just shy of the meat. And Lilly, well, he means business here in this over from Alex Thompson. He's hit a couple of 4s and now he's hit a switch hit 6. And that is a nice shot. 16 for 1.
Is he signalling no ball as well?
No, I think he's just stopping the bowler from bowling to him.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
If he bowls a no ball off 4 paces, he's in now, and that one is turned into the leg side. There's a big gap there. Are they going to risk coming back for a second? They are. The ball is swooped on by Van Beek, who hurls it back in as quickly as he could, wrings the hands of Alex Thompson. Good over for the Foxes. How many off that one? 16 off the over, and they are 18 for 1 after 2.
But even with 16,
they're just slightly behind on Douglas Lewis.
Yeah.
No, well, that's
it's an indication of it. It's a serious pressure, isn't it? 11 runs and over, essentially. However,
Thompson conceded in excess of 40 runs up at Old Trafford as well, and the experiment opening with Thompson, that may well be something that's consigned to the dustbin of history at some point, you would have thought. But Logan Van Beek's going to continue.
He's telling third man to go a little bit finer. It's, again, a packed offside field over there as Van Beek is in to Inglis, who goes for a big drive outside off stump, doesn't get anything on it, and indicates that perhaps it just even swung a little bit. Be surprised if it did. Nothing much has swung tonight other than over the boundary ropes. However, Dr. Ball, Van Beek continues his start with the ball. 1 overs, 1 for 2 for.
It's a slight risk to bowl successive overs, though, isn't it?
Usually, however, in he goes and bowls and hit in the air. Is Godleman going to get there? Is it going to go beyond him? It bounces about 6 inches inside the ropes. Got plenty of it in the end. Inglis, for just a second, I thought he'd clocked it slightly and perhaps Godleman would get there, but as ever, slightly deceptive through here and bounced only just inside the ropes. Inglis is up and running. 22 for 1.
Both Billy Godman and Lewis Reece looked like they might have been interested at one point.
Van Beek in again to England down the leg side, clipped away. Good diving stop by the keeper. I thought for all the world that was going to run down to the finest of fine legs, but an athletic leap away to his left meant it was just a... Did he signal leg by?
I think so.
Any signal at all?
No.
It must have been a little clip because he has put one onto the English score. The scorer, English on to 6. Fox is 23 for 1.
Got to make the most of the power play, Leicestershire, haven't they, really?
I was saying, Ian, he did at least 60, maybe 70 off it, really.
Absolutely.
Van Beek is in. Lilly gets a slower ball and is comprehensively beaten. He stepped back in room and then ended up flailing wildly and missing by quite a long way. Well, bowled by Van Beek, balled over the top of the stumps it went.
I must ask him how many slower balls he's got. Logan, as I say, he was in the Wellington side that won back-to-back super smashes in New Zealand.
Runs away from us and bowls. Follows Lilly a little bit as he backed away looking to make room again. Lilly wiped it out into the leg side off a thick bottom edge. Alex Hughes is the fielder about halfway back towards the mid-wicket boundary in the end when he got the ball. Single taken by Lilly, moves on to 18. 24 for 1, again well bowled by Van Beek. It's not Van Beek or anything like that.
It's probably Van Beek if he was actually Dutch.
I'm thinking. In he goes and bowls to Inglis. A full toss. The Inglis misses out, hits it out to mid-wicket, bounces off Hughes, who had formed a long barrier, and it ran across one of the worn pitches in front of him, but it sort of hit him in the chest and bounced back down in front of him. End of the over, 24 for 1 after 3, so just as from it. And again, Van Beek excels.
I think if you can bowl 2 overs in a power play and pick up a wicket and go for 8 runs, then you deserve to come back in roundabout overs 12 and 13, something around then, just to lob a few down. But
you're allowed to sit on those for a bit, you would think.
Yes, well, I'd be surprised if he bowled a third. We're going to see Finn Hudson-Prentice, I think that is, at the far end of the ground. It is Finn Hudson-Prentice for the first time. He bowled over number 5 up at Old Trafford and took 2 wickets. He's in now, and that one's turned into the leg side. There's a despairing dive by the man on the edge of the circle, and it runs away for 4 more to Lilly. He's up to 22 now, 28 for 1, just strayed for line there, Finn Hudson-Prentice, and the singers have rediscovered their voices, which is good to hear. Come on, chaps and chapesses, there's no point in you being here if you're not going to make some noise. There is. You can watch the cricket, of course. They're absorbed, as we are. As Hudson-Prentice is in again to bowl to Lilly and wraps him on the pad. He has to hop back into his crease as Hudson-Prentice comes all the way down to pick the ball up. Then he thinks about throwing it away, throwing it to Alex Hughes at mid-on, and Alex Hughes just turned his back on him. He was, well, I'm not going to polish it. You don't polish them. Get on with it. That's what would happen in the Championship. The bowler would just toss the ball away to somebody else to do all the hard work. Hudson-Prentice in again. This one, well, he stepped into the leg side there at Aaron Lilly, and they go through for a single as Inglis and Hudson-Prentice collide. So it was very much an agreed single by the end of it. It wasn't too far away from the ball, Hudson-Prentice, but made no attempt to pick up and throw or anything like that as they go through for 1 more. 30, 29 for 1. That scoreboard is exceptionally quick and exceptionally good, and I should never doubt it. Inglis on strike, goes for the goes for a ramp. It goes down the leg side and will be signalled a wide. He missed out rather. There was a slower ball from Hudson-Prentice. Not that his quick ball's particularly quick, but looked like a slower ball that just went slightly wrong. Let's look at his hair tied up in a knot on the back of his head.
Bit of a top knot going on there.
Yeah, it's the wild man of Derbyshire. Leicestershire's Barmy Army. There they are. Excellent. Hudson Prentice is in. Inglis again plays this one up in the air. This is going to come all the way down below us for 6. It is. It bounces on the tarmac down below us. Good shot. Really good shot by Josh Inglis. And Mikey Cohen's come to try to retrieve the ball. It's been helped out by the Derbyshire third member. That was a terrific blow. 6 more to the total. And they move on now to 36 for 1 in the 4th.
Won't be far from the umpire's room down below us. Normal entrance to the dressing room. Right below us. In fact, it bounced up onto the balcony.
Yeah. So
up the tarmac onto the balcony of the dressing room. Goodness me.
That ball's a mess. It went very high, didn't it? It did go very high. So when it hit the tarmac, it had plenty of energy left in it. They're not even going to show it to an umpire. That's very impressive.
It's fairly smooth, the tarmac down there. There aren't too many sort of bits of gravel or stone on it. But goodness me, they take a battering down there. There's balls.
10 in front. Leicestershire, as he's gone for it again, and he's going to get. Is he going to get 6 more? No, he's going to get 4 more. And Inglis is having a day out in this over with 10 off the last 2 deliveries. Leicestershire, well, they're making a good fist of it so far. 40 for 1. Duckworth Lewis suggests. Actually, it hasn't updated, so I can't give you that information, but it'll update shortly.
38.
It's at 38, so they're just slightly ahead.
Even with all this hitting.
Yes.
Only just level.
Yeah, Derbyshire's power play 52. There are still 2 overs of this power play to go. Inglis on 16 from 8 balls as Hudson Prentice is in, and this one's clipped into the leg side. That's going to be 4 more out to square leg. Well, that was very, very quick indeed. The bat speed there as the ball flew to the boundary, and there's one of those big overs that Leicestershire need as they carry on. They've moved up to 44 for 1 after 4, 20 runs off that over. And while Logan van Beek's bowled 2 overs for 8 at one end, the other 2 overs at the other end have gone for 36. And there's your problem. You need 2 Logan van Beeks. Here's Mikey Cohen. This is an interesting move. Left arm quick. Less erratic this season than he has been in the past. Only bowled 1 over, went for 9. First over of the game at Old Trafford. Never saw him again. The ball will come off the bat quite quickly here.
We're sort of talking about the power play. Remember, however, that Derbyshire got 82 off the last 5, let alone off the first 6. In goes Cohen, bowled, cut hard by Lilly, but only as far as the man at backward point, who stops it on the second bounce. Crisply hit by nicely timed. He will make room against the quicker bowlers, Lilly. Almost looks as though he's sort of backing away, but crisply timed.
Harry Kane,
couldn't get it past young Kane. I called him Kane, didn't I? Then Kane. Inevitable, I'm afraid.
Didn't get it past the England captain.
Third man is coming into the edge of the circle, which means that mid-wicket has gone back out. Scampers in Cohen and bowls, hit over wide extra cover for a 1-2 bounce 4 by Lilly. Again, just made a little bit of room, freed his arms, as they say, and swung it away over wide extra cover for 4. And Lilly moves on to 27.
Well, they certainly haven't given up hope, have they, Leicestershire?
Certainly brought the crowd back to life.
Yeah.
It was very quiet.
It had gone a
during
bit quiet,
the interval. Very quiet.
This would be an astonishing run chase. Would be a record, wouldn't it? Surely, even Leicestershire against anybody, I would have thought.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cohen hears something from his captain. In he goes, bowls very short, work down to third man, just short of the man on the edge of the circle. Thought it was going to carry, didn't quite, I don't think, sort of fell down and it bounced just in front of him, it bounced off the chest of Deploy. 50 partnership already of 26 balls. At least he got something behind it, slowed it down and meant that it was just the 2 to Lilly.
Should have been a dot, shouldn't it, really? Should have been a dot. And you could see by the way he scampered after it how annoyed he was with himself deploying.
Cohen in again, very short, ducks underneath the bouncer. Lilly, docked ball, 1 for the over, says White. Cohen steaming a little bit.
He's
Indicating
or
is it just the way
it is just his manner? Yeah,
Okay.
He walks very purposefully everywhere he goes. He walks like that. Must be exhausting.
Just the
He was gesturing for Hughes to come in off the mid-wicket boundary. I think the long on has gone out now.
Lilly waits. Bat raise as Cohen is in. Bowls full, driven, but only as far as Godalming at wide, mid-off, and finishing the over well as Michael Cohen. He's had 2 dot balls from balls 4 and 5. Just the 6 from the over so far from the first 5 balls, which is pretty good. Can he finish the over in the same fashion? Turns. You can hear Lilly banging his bat in the crease, then he lifts it as in goes Cohen. Bowls down the pitch he goes, lifts it down towards long on, should be caught and is caught by Reece. Again, didn't get it out of the middle. Again, it came just slightly high off the bat, and in the end, a most comfortable catch as far as they go on the boundary for Reece. Never looked like making a mistake, and an important wicket at the end of the 5th over. 50 for 2, Leicestershire.
Yeah, that's a big wicket, isn't it? The 2 batsmen were absolutely going for it, and Aaron Lilly departs for a 20 ball 29. Decent effort, 4 fours and a 6, but they need somebody to go on, really. There was the half century in the just trying to explain it to Martin Williams, who's over on FM on BBC Radio Derby. Not explain it to him, but the first half of the innings was held together by Reece, and then the second half of the innings was mainly about Matt Critchley with a lot of help from Alex Hughes, and you need those big scores in each half, and you need a big partnership as well. If you're going to chase down 200, it's quite a big ask.
This may be the key partnership now. Let's probably need Inglis to get at least the 80 that Critchley scored, and to be honest, maybe even need to get 100. It's possible, it's doable.
50 for 2, they're going along at 10s. Finn Hudson-Prentice continues, and this one is forced into the offside. That's better. Straight to the man on the edge of the circle. Harry Kane does the fielding. He's at cover. Mikey Cohen is at short third man. Logan Van Beek looks like he's at backward point. Matt Critchley's at short fine leg. Good luck there. No Anuj Dal in the squad either. Did damage his shoulder and had to go off. He came on as a substitute and then went off again up at Old Trafford. He replaced Wayne Madsen at the beginning of the Lancashire innings, but came up feeling his shoulder, so he's not in the squad either. As Hudson-Prentice is in. Oh, and there's a big appeal for leg before wicket. Too high. It's run away down to the boundary for 4 leg byes. That's very unfortunate for Finn Hudson-Prentice. Mikey Cohen gave chase but couldn't get there. He was unable to prevent the ball from crossing the boundary rope. I'll tell you what, that's a good shout.
It wasn't a bad
That's
shout.
not a bad shout at all.
It was above the pad, but he had sort of bobbed at the knees a little bit, trying to whack it away, pull it away, and it was a decent shout.
Thought it hit him outside the line, possibly. But you could see the stumps, couldn't you? Anyway, 54 for 2. He bowls, and this one's also off a thigh pad, so another leg by to the total. You can see how keen Derbyshire are. There were feelers everywhere in all directions, making sure that there was somebody at both ends and all the rest of it. So 55 for 2 with 3 deliveries left of the power play. Derbyshire, as I said earlier, got to
56 for 2.
50,
Fair power play, but
it
was just a start.
52. Oh, I've got. Carry on.
52 for 2. You're right. Beg your pardon.
So Leicestershire on top as this one is played into the leg side. Nicely by Ackerman. There's a shot at the stumps from Alex Hughes. It misses. Well backed up by Leicestershire to ploy. Single taken. Ackerman off the mark. Inglis on 20 from 12. 56 for 2 with 2 balls of the power play remaining. I'm looking every time I get an alert because there's bound to be some more stats from David Griffin at some point, although he'll be out there taking pictures at the moment. So Hudson Prentice is in, bowls to Inglis, short delivery, and he's going to hook that away for 4. Pull really, rather than a hook. Very controlled, ball hits the ground nice and early, and it races away to the boundary. 4 more to the total. 60 up, 60 for 2 with 1 ball of the power play still to be bowled. Inglis on to 24 from 13. Strike rate 184.6. That's mad, isn't it? Hudson Prentice is in again, bangs it in short again. It's gone out to the deep, and it's a great catch by Logan Van Beek out there in the deep. What a catch that is. Came in off the boundary and got both hands to it, takes the catch. Inglis is gone for 24. That could be a big blow because he looked to be in terrific nick. Good catch, Van Beek. Wicket for Finn Hudson Prentice. Leicestershire at the end of the power play, a 60 for 3.
That was an outstanding catch, and no wonder Hudson Prentice leapt with delight in the air because they know, I think, Derbyshire, that Josh Inglis was probably the man most likely from the Foxes' point of view to get them close in this what would be a mammoth run chase. And it wasn't an easy catch because he didn't quite get all of it. He had to come in quite a long way. I had to make a lot of ground, Van Beek, to get to the ball, and it was quite low when he got there, but he did get there and he held on nicely. And a huge blow at the end of the power play struck by the Falcons. 60 for 3 Leicestershire then after 6. And at this stage, Derbyshire 52 for 2. So although they're ahead in terms of the runs scored, they have lost, well, 2, arguably 3 key wickets. Leicestershire. In goes Hughes and bowls, and just turned by Hill out into the leg side. He'll be busy, Hill, as he pushes it out to deep mid-wicket and takes the single. But can he come up with the big hits that Leicestershire need? They still need another 149 runs. Duckworth Lewis now showing 71. And the Foxes 61 for 3. Partly that's down to losing that 3rd wicket, of course, as Hughes bustles in and bowls a slower ball, worked by Ackerman. Only the 2nd ball he's faced while this has been going on. Leicestershire's skipper down towards long gone, and he jogs a single. Rate required inevitably beginning to creep up. It's up close to 11 now, 10.83. Hughes is in, bowls to Hill, and again working it out into the leg side. A foolish delivery. Reece gets there, gets his throw away right next to the stumps. Hughes shows the ball to the stumps. Hill having comfortably made his ground. Hill 2 off 2. Ackerman 2 off 2. But it's going to be the big hits, as I say, that are needed. The 1s and 2s won't be enough. In goes Hughes, bowls, cut hard, brilliant diving stop at backward point by Kane. Got his right hand, I think it was Kane, got his right hand to it, maybe a taller figure than Kane. And either way, saved 3. Kane it was who cleared up in the end, but it was just the single for Ackerman. 64 for 3 as Hughes is in, bowled, slightly slower ball. Again it's cut, this time Hill has got it through to the 3rd man boundary. This time Thompson it is at backward point, who made that brilliant stop to the previous delivery. He fell to his left again on this occasion, but he couldn't get there. Hill picked his spot, threaded the needle, runs away for 4. Hill on to 6, 68 for 3. Hughes in again to Hill, full on off stump, driven without any great weight to the shot, gets it past Godalmán, who's at that short extra cover position. Coming in from the ropes is Reece at long off, and a single again is taken. 69 for 3, so a good over under normal circumstances, but 9 not quite enough as far as the Foxes are concerned in terms of keeping up with the run rate, though Ackerman and Hill, we don't really get a chance to play yourself in this game, but you do have to have a little bit of a look. They have managed to do that and keep the scoreboard ticking. So 69 for 3 after 7. At this stage, Derbyshire 57 for 3. So again, just in terms of direct comparison, Leicestershire ahead. However, the big assault from Critchley was to come. Critchley, talking of whom, he's going to now bowl from the Bennett end. In goes the leg spinner, drops a little bit short. Hill tries to work it off his pads, doesn't get anything on it, thumps into the pads, and merging from behind the stumps, the wicketkeeper ensures that there are no cheeky leg byes taken. Critchley looks around him. Godalmán has a word, but he's ready to go. In he goes, just a couple of steps, tosses it right up, sweeps on the full Lewis Hill, but it doesn't get it past the man at short. Fine leg. Hughes, I think it is, out there. It's Cohen, I beg his pardon. Makes the stop and just a single to Hill. Critchley is in. Ackerman drives hard, slightly cross-batted. Nice stop by Critchley, reaching down, tall man to his right, just in front of the stumps, picks it up and he's already ready to bowl again. In he goes, down the pitch goes Ackerman, drives it back past Critchley, gets two hands to it, goes on through his legs. Ackerman had hit it hard, but Critchley turns and scampers after the ball, and Ackerman doesn't take him on. Good work again by Critchley, just the single from his first 4 balls. In he goes to Ackerman, who makes a bit of room. Critchley sees that and bowls towards his legs. Ackerman clips it away. It's on the full, but it's low down and it sounded a bit tinny off the bottom of the bat. Indeed, Ackerman examines the bottom of his bat as he worked it out towards mid-wicket. Takes 1, moves on to 4 from 6, 71 for 3. Critchley into Hill with that open stance. Hill down the wicket. Critchley drops a little bit shorter, adjusts his length accordingly, worked out towards mid-wicket. Hill is going to have to scamper, but he makes his ground. Good call from Ackerman as the fielder came in from deep mid-wicket. Hill picks up 2 and moves on to 10 from 7. Leicestershire on to 73 for 3, but just the 4 runs from that Critchley over. Leicestershire can't afford many overs like that. Already the rate required is well over 11.
Yes, decent from Matt Critchley, whose confidence must be sky high after his 80 not out in the Derbyshire innings. Lewis Reece now, who didn't do too badly himself either with the bat, with a half century, second in successive matches. He's in around the wicket, bowls a full toss. It's hit straight back to him and he just deflects it off his right ankle.
Sure, he's limping a bit now. I'm surprised.
Ackerman gets through for 2, and I'm not sure that's the wise. Yeah, now he's limping even more heavily. I'm not sure that was a particularly wise thing to do.
It was nuts. It was only ever going to be 1, wasn't it?
He looks to be in a spot of bother here as well, Lewis Reece. But I hesitate to say, he does like a knock.
If that went onto the ankle bone, that would have...
Well, he's already got a bad knee. He's missed a couple of championship matches this season with a bad knee. He's just flexing his right leg. That was remarkable. 2 runs added to the total. 75 for 3. Ackerman moves on to 6. He's on strike now. Slightly open stance and a slower delivery from Lewis Reece. He's clubbed away out into the... and there's a misfield from Logan Van Beek. It goes straight through him and beyond the boundary rope, and that's a bit of a blow. Stunning catch a couple of overs ago, and now a fairly basic misfield out in the deep, and 4 more to the total, and he won't be happy at all, Logan Van Beek, I know, and certainly Lewis Reece isn't massively happy either. 79 for 3.
Van Beek bowled brilliantly, caught brilliantly, and then a blunder.
Shocker. He's in again, it's Reece around the wicket. That one's clubbed straight back to him by Ackerman into the ground, mistimed it completely, fielded in a more conventional way by the bowler at the end of his follow, this time in both hands rather than with his ankle. He looks to be walking that off. Of course, if you do pick up an injury in this competition, you've got so little time to recover. As Reece is in again, and that one's a full delivery. Reece just moves to his left and it sort of spins away from him. Goes down to Alex Hughes just down below as they get through for a single. 11 him, Ackerman that is. 10 to Hill, who's back on strike. 80 for 3. Leicestershire playing Sunday as well.
Yes, yeah. Durham here.
Durham
2:30.
Here. Derbyshire playing the Bears. Warwickshire, as I like to call them. So Reece is in, and that one is, well, that's a good delivery. It's pushed out into the offside, straight to Billy Godalming. You take that, you can't take the boundary out, of course, you can't take the boundary out, but if you take the boundary out of this over, it's been another really good economical over. We've had overs that have gone for 5 and 4 in recent times, 9 as well. There's Reece bowls, and there's a scoop down towards fine leg, and one bounce 4. That's a good shot. That's a good way to end the over for Leicestershire. Hill with the shot, scooped it away. One bounce 4 down to fine leg, and at the end of 9 overs, Leicestershire have moved on to 84 for 3.
Needed it, big time. Leicestershire 9 overs, 84 for 3. 9 overs, 79 for 3. Derbyshire, however,
still in front.
Duckworth Lewis suggests otherwise.
Yes, yeah. Duckworth Lewis is suggesting they should be on 91. Or 92 to
Critchley in to Ackerman, who swings and misses mightily outside off stump. All that effort, and the bat carves its way through the air without connecting with the ball. Critchley is in and bowling a quicker, flatter delivery. Spears it in. Ackerman clips it out towards mid-wicket. They're going to get 2, however. He didn't mean to just chip it out there very slowly. But he did. It came right off the bottom of the bat, and as a consequence had an awful long way to come running in there. Van Beek, and although he gave it his shot, his best, couldn't quite get there in time to prevent the second.
Didn't half dart that one in. I don't think I've seen him bowl one that quickly before.
He did spear it in, didn't he? And he goes, tosses that one up a little bit and chipped up into the air by Ackerman, not so very far wide of Billy Godalming, moving to his right at extra cover. Couldn't get there. The Derbyshire skipper, not the quickest or smoothest mover in the field. Got a good pair of hands as long as it's within reach, and that one wasn't. Critchley in again to Hill, who's going to reverse sweep, and does, but only as far as short third man. Reece on the edge of the circle, limping again badly.
Yeah,
that's going to hurt at the end of tonight. He'll limp away from the game, whatever happens, but hopefully he's leaning on he's got his hands on his knees at the moment. He's going to have a horrible bruise. Critchley in to Ackerman, who sweeps very, very fine down to fine leg for 4. Possibly would have been signalled wide had he not. It would have been signalled wide had he not got anything on it. Wicketkeeper's a bit irritated, but I don't think with himself. He got across, couldn't get his gloves underneath it because Ackerman could get the bottom of his bat to it. Yeah. I had no chance at all.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's done okay with the gloves as Brooke guessed in the 2 matches so far. Kept in the championship as well.
He waits as Critchley is in. Bowls again down the leg side. Pulled around the corner by Ackerman very wistily, but straight to the field down there at deep backward square. It's Thompson down there, the off spinner. And consequently just the single to Ackerman. But Ackerman has started to hit the ball rather more cleanly, and in the end 9 runs from the over. But again, sort of not enough in the context of the game. Duckworth Lewis now showing around 100. It's in green. It is 100, isn't it? Not 109.
Yes, no, it's 100.
It is 100.
Yeah.
And at this stage, Derbyshire were 90 for 3.
Completely different to what I've got on my computer, which says 98. It's Alex Hughes from the Pavilion End in and bowls, and that one, oh dear, that's beaten everything. It's a wide just down the leg side. He couldn't get across in time there, Brooke Guest, and it's 5 wides as it races away to the boundary at the far end of the ground. So that's a good start to the over for Leicestershire. Not the best start for Lancashire. Ackerman 19, Hill 15, and they've moved on to 98 for 3.
I wonder if Duckworth Lewis is frozen because it's still showing 100.
Could be. 98 for 3. Oh, that's bowled him. It's bowled him. Ackerman went back into the leg side, tried to cut it away, and it's just clipped his leg bail by the look of it. The off bail still on. And that was a wicket that Derbyshire desperately needed, but will be delighted to have got. He just managed to, well, in fact he didn't step into the leg side, he just moved back in and clipped the leg bail, and off he goes. Ackerman dismissed for 19, and Leicestershire 98 for 4.
Extends his lead at the top of the Derbyshire wicket-taking T20 record books.
Indeed. Yes.
That was nicely bowled, actually, because I think he
54.
rolled his fingers across the seam and managed just to get it to nibble back a touch. Did enough to defeat Ackerman's attempt to work it away into the offside. Another big wicket at the right time.
Yes, that's what they've got to do, isn't it? They just chip away with the wickets, and the rest of it will take care of itself, won't it? Really?
Exactly, yeah.
Because they can't afford to lose wickets on a regular basis. Leicestershire, if they're going to chase this down. Hughes is into the new batsman, who is Patel. It's Rishi Patel. And he pushes that out into the offside and gets off the mark with a single. 99 for 4. And Duckworth Lewis just ramps up a little. Goes up to 109 now, following the fall of a wicket.
Well, Patel or Hill are going to have to do a Critchley.
Hill's on 15 from 10, and he tries to cut that one. It goes through to Brooke Guest.
Looked to be drivable, that one, but
Alex Hughes is a canny operator, as he's shown with that magnificent record. 54 T20 wickets he has now for Derbyshire. He's in again. Bowls a loopy delivery that, Hill tried to lift it into the leg side somewhere, preferably fine, and missed it completely.
yeah, from a foot and a half outside off stump.
Yeah, very strange shot. The batsmen have to manufacture shots, don't they? We've seen it over the years in T20 cricket. After those 5 wides, it's gone wicket 1... Hughes is in again, another loopy delivery, and it's pushed up towards Finn Hudson-Prentice, who leaves it behind but manages to recover in time to prevent them from taking a second run, and the 100's up for Leicestershire. Hill moves on to 16, 100 for 4 in the 11th over.
I understand some shots have to be premeditated, but got to be able to adapt a little bit if the ball's in a completely different place.
Hughes bowls, and Rishi Patel pushes it up to towards mid-on. He's a long way back, Hudson-Prentice, a long way to get in to do the fielding, and he gets that, keeps them down to a single. 101 for 4 at the end of the over. 8 runs from that one, including those 5 wides, so a decent enough over in the end from Alex Hughes. What were they at the same stage? Derbyshire, still in front Leicestershire.
Duckworth Lewis has moved on the scoreboard to 114. I don't know what it is on your
112. I seem to be 2 behind. I have no idea why. Either way, it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
They are behind Leicestershire. They are still, however, clinging on. They are just about in the game. Patel awaits the arrival of Lewis. Reece with that held back slower delivery. Probably only about 70 miles an hour, if that, from Lewis Reece, but it's so hard to time your big hits accordingly, and all Patel can do is play it firmly back down the pitch to the left armour, who turns, runs in, almost hiding behind umpire Milnes, then he emerges and bowls. Patel hits it out towards long off, who misjudges it slightly because he went back and then realised he was going to have to run forward, did dive forward, got two hands underneath it, but on the half volley, if not just before. So Patel picks up 1. He moves on to 3. Reece runs in from the Bennett end, bowls to Hill, very slow. Hill tries to whack it away. He doesn't know where it is. The wicketkeeper Guest flicks the ball at the stumps. Hill had got back into his ground. They flick at the stumps, misses them, and so Hill and Patel pinch a cheeky single, but worth the attempted run out by Brooke Guest, I think, on that occasion. Reece is in. Patel waits and then works it out towards deep mid-wicket. Should definitely be 2. Hill turns and scampers and makes his ground. The throw hits. So there is an appeal. Not that certain that Powerplay was actually... It sounded awful to say maybe not of watching, but must have been. But I think Hill, who's quick enough to have made his ground anyway, and Milnes walks in and puts the bails back on.
My favourite appeal was from Mikey Cohen, who's at fine leg, about 40 yards away from the stumps.
Reece is in, bowls to Patel, doesn't get to the pitch of it, drives it nonetheless out towards long off, and just a single on this occasion. Again, super bowling from Reece. Took a bit of punishment in his first over, but this has been much better. .1121 so far. And the run rate required creeping up towards 13, 12.7. Reece is going to go over the wicket to Hill, who attempts a reverse sweep and is bowled. Well, tried it once too often, Lewis Hill. Got to 17, got in 17 or 14, but again, not the sort of innings that's going to really make a difference in the context of the game. And again, Derbyshire have picked up a wicket at the right time as far as they're concerned. 106 for 5, Leicestershire. The scoreboard pressure, as was always likely to be the case, is beginning to tell Fletcher.
Yeah, and just 5 runs off the over as well as the wicket. But, another big over for Derbyshire. It leaves Rishi Patel, who's not been in there that long, run a ball 6. He'll be joined by Ben Mike, and they basically got to start again between them, but looking for 13 runs and over from here on in, and that's an almost impossible task, as Alex Hughes understandably will continue from the pavilion end. A good performance from Derbyshire. Talking to Lewis Reece after the game at Old Trafford, he said, "We're not far away."
This will be your first win of the season, if it happens.
The second win in 2 years. As Hughes is in, and that one is a swing and a miss from Rishi Patel. That one would have still been travelling now, and he made contact with it, but he didn't. It goes through to Brooke Guest, standing up behind the stumps. Yes, and both of those wins would be here. The next task is to win somewhere else. Hughes in his 3rd over, 1 for 17, bowls to Patel, clubs it down the ground. Thompson will do the fielding down below us, keeps them down to a single. 107 for 5. Lewis now rising rapidly, it's 130. Every time a wicket falls, an extra 10 or 12 gets put on top of it. You have to try and claw it back. It's not going to rain, incidentally. As Hughes is in a slower looping delivery, dives to his left-hand side as Mike drives. He gets a hand on it. Hughes takes a lot of the pace. There wasn't a lot on it in the first place, but he takes a lot of the pace off it. They get through for a single. Mike off the mark, 108 for 5. Field spread to all parts. A couple of players out on the leg side boundary, one out sweeping on the cover boundary. That's a big hit. Has he got enough of that to get it all the way? No. 1 bounce, 2 bounces and beats the dive of Hudson Prentice. Nice shot from Rishi Patel. picks up a boundary. Put the dive in there, Hudson Prentice. I think his bobble might have come out as well. But a welcome boundary for Leicestershire. They move up to 112 for 5. Rishi Patel up to 11 from 9. Well placed. As Hughes is in again. That's a quicker one from Hughes, and this time he doesn't time it. And Hudson Prentice can come off the long on boundary to do the fling. Throws it into Brooke Guest. Another single to Patel. 7 off the over so far. 1 delivery to go. Required rate up to 13.5 now.
So this has to go for 6, really.
Pretty much. And that would just knock it back down to 13. He's in again, it's Hughes, and it's pulled into the leg side. A very ugly looking shot as he had to wait for the ball to arrive. Ben Mike picks up a single, and the over comes to an end. 8 from it, 114 for 5 at the end of 13 overs, which means they need 98 more runs. Yeah, was that an 8? Blimey, it's small writing over that. Is it a 6? It's a 6, isn't it? 96. Yeah, that would make more sense, because 6 and 4 is 10, and that's what they need.
Duckworth Lewis shows 135. Leicestershire 11445. Critchley, who's bowled his 2 overs for just 13 runs so far, is in and bowling to Ben Mike, who's leaning forward, just working it out to backwards square and taking 1. Looking to get Patel down on strike at the moment. Mike 3 from 3, Patel 12 from 10. Big ask as in goes Critchley. Down the wicket goes Patel, gets to it on the full and drives it away for 4 to the electronic scoreboard. Made it into a full toss by using his feet, Rishi Patel, and adding to the good impression he made in scoring his 32 at Old Trafford last night off 17 balls. Hasn't hit in any way, in an unorthodox way. He's still playing his shots kind of properly, if that makes any sort of sense. Critchley is in, he goes to him and then does hit him high over mid-wicket for 6. But he did drop it a little bit short there, Critchley did drag it down a little bit. Patel was dancing down the wicket, perhaps over-did, attempted to adjust his length, and Patel gratefully pulled it away over the longest part of the boundary for 6. So 10 off 2 balls. Is this the big over? Well, they need big overs henceforth, Leicestershire, but so far 11 off the first 3 balls. Critchley is in, Patel goes back, just works it out towards deep mid-wicket and is prepared to take 1. I think he knows it's down to him, really, Patel, if Leicestershire are going to get anywhere near this huge target. 23 to him off 13 as Critchley is in to Ben Mike, who chips it back down the pitch just short of Matt Critchley.
That's 6 inches short of him.
Who almost fell forwards waiting for that one. Oh, he almost could have. I think he thought it was going to carry and it didn't. Dot ball, in he goes and bowls again to Ben Mike, who clips it out towards deep mid-wicket. Patel wants a second, hesitated. Mike's running to the danger end. Mike was right in his call. He made his ground. Had the throw gone to the bowler's end, that could have been interesting from Thompson. But as it is, Leicestershire got away with it a little bit. They need 82 runs off the last 6 overs. Well, that's pretty much what Derbyshire got. They got 82 off the last 5, so let's have an over in hand.
Yeah, miles in front. Miles in front. They've got a Matt Critchley. Well, Rishi Patel potentially.
Different sort of player.
Yeah.
Different sort of player, but you never know.
Such a clean hitter when he gets going. Critchley. Here's Alex Hughes again from the pavilion end. That one is clubbed away down to the it's cow corner, really wide long on to be slightly more charitable, and it's a boundary to begin the over from Rishi Patel. Again, in between those 2 fielders down there, one is Leicestershire deployed, the other one is Finn Hudson Prentice. And you can get a boundary off the first ball. The world is your oyster. Potentially. 1v2 for 5. That required rate just doesn't want to come down though from 13.5. Hughes is in, bowls. This one is again clubbed into a similar sort of area. Leicestershire deploys quickly off the boundary to do the fielding. Throws it back in on the bounce to Hughes. Alex Thompson down below us. Not sure whether we'll see him again with the ball, having gone for 16 in his solitary over. Inside the power play, in fairness to the off spinner. I think he arrived in the same car as Matt Critchley. I wonder what they'll be talking about on the way back. Hughes with a ball. This now then. Thompson might get underneath this one. No, nowhere near it. It's over his head. It's a 6 out to long off. And this is another big over for Leicestershire. Reece Patel is the man. That's a very nice shot indeed. His second 6, 3/4 to go with it. 34 not out. 139 for 5. That was Mike, was it? That was Mike. Still, Patel's the man.
He is. Mike.
I'd missed the single that it took to deploy.
He can hit a long ball.
What's going on? Ben Mike. This time, oh now then, this one's up into the leg side. Is it going to carry? No, it's trying to drop short of Leicestershire deploy, and they're going to get a single. This will be Reece Patel on strike now then. I know what I'm doing. It's a decent 6 from Mike. In fact, he's yet to hit a boundary 4, but he has hit a 6. Leicestershire deploy had an innings like that at Old Trafford. Reece Patel on 28. Leicestershire 140 for 5. Just guides this off the edge of the bat down to fine third man for 4 more. This is becoming a very expensive over indeed for Derbyshire. 16 off it, I make it so far, with 1 ball to come. 14 off the previous over.
They're just about staying in touch, Leicestershire, at the moment.
Can't afford to lose a wicket though, can they? That's the one thing. I mean, Derbyshire didn't want to lose a wicket, but were going with a foot to the floor as Hughes is in and bowls. This one is driven out into the offside, and Hughes has collapsed, has he? No, he's okay. Oh, hang on.
A shout of
pain
a shout when he went down there.
What's he gone down with? Derbyshire can't afford to lose any more players. It looks like his left hip that's troubling him, and straight away they're saying we need to change this. Alex Hughes becomes the latest Derbyshire player to suffer some kind of injury.
Hip, rib,
left
sides.
Yeah. Either way,
side.
It's not
side.
good.
I think
If
his
it's
side
his
as well.
that could be him. 145 for 5, incidentally, at the end of 15 overs. At the same stage, Derbyshire were 127 for 4. That over was expensive. 17, 31 off the last 2, and Alex Hughes,
he's in real pain, isn't he?
he's in a lot of trouble here. He's making his own way off, but he yelped in pain, didn't he, when he delivered the ball? Fell to the floor. Matty McKiernan comes out to meet him and help him from the field. The 12th man will be on, and I'll try and work out who it is. But that's not great news. Already without Wayne Madsen with a thigh strain. Derbyshire have lost Alex Hughes now.
65 needed off the last
That
5 overs at 13 exactly. Reece is in, bowls and waiting for it on the full, turning his wrists on it is Patel, out towards deep mid wicket, 2 comfortably taken. 147 for 5. 2 a ball isn't enough, needing 13 and over, but keeps you in touch just about. Can they take it really deep, Leicestershire here? Showing signs that they might be able to. 147 for 5. 63 needed as in goes Hughes. Bowls a full toss, slapped out too long, off by Patel, and the catch is taken. Well, Hughes has bowled better balls to take wickets, but it was a very valuable wicket indeed. Hit cleanly out to deploy by Patel, but absolutely straight as an arrow to him, and deploy made no mistake.
fairly certain it's Leicestershire deploy out there.
35 off 18, Patel, whatever, he is out. And again, a really good knock by Patel, but might not be enough to take the Foxes over the line. Again, the scoreboard pressure has told, and Patel goes.
Well, he'll have been looking at the scoreboard, won't he, and seeing that it's, what, 13 and a half and over.
Full toss, had to try and hit it out.
Got to keep going hard, got to keep going hard. And unfortunately, he's perished. It was 35 from 19 deliveries, 4 fours and a 6.
In goes Hughes and bowls to Callum Parkinson, who tries to work it away into the leg side. Don't know whether he got anything on that. Certainly it was mostly pad. No signal, however, from umpire Milne, so a little bit of an inside edge, as well as Guess scampers out towards towards backward square to do the fielding. Single taken, 148 for 6.
It was deployed.
Well,
he's a long way away.
He is. Never looked like dropping it though. Got
No.
in position, took it very cleanly. Reece, 2 for 19 now for him, is into Ben Mike, outside off stump, full, tries to sort of steer it away, and it was the right shot because the fielders on the offside all pretty much up inside the circle, but he didn't get anything on it, and it was taken cleanly by Guest behind the stumps. Sun's still out here at the Uptonsteel County Ground as the end of the game approaches at 9 p.m. In goes Reece, follows Mike as he makes a little bit of room, worked out towards long off, deploy fields. Off goes Fletch to do what might be his last update for BBC Radio Derby's FM frequency. Ben Mike picks up a single, moves on to 13, brings Parkinson back down on strike. Reece turns, comes in to finish his over, bowls to Parkinson, who lifts it high over the offside for a 1 bounce 4. Lovely shot from Callum Parkinson. Just lifted it, gave him just that little bit of room. Lewis, Reece and Parkinson, who can hit a really good long ball actually, picked it up very sweetly indeed, lifted it high over the infield, and it bounced just inside the ropes at the popular side of the ground. End of the over, 153 for 6. Despite that 4 off the last ball, just 8 runs from the over. 57 needed off 4 now for Leicestershire, with 4 wickets in hand. They are still just about in the game, but it's at this point that Critchley, helped by Hughes and Hudson Prentice to a certain extent as well, managed to have a few really big overs. 150 up though for the Foxes, 153 for 6. Ben Mike will be on strike to Logan Van Beek. That was a very quick update, Fletch.
I was very, very close to missing it. Logan Van Beek from the brilliant end in. The ball's a full toss that's caught, but it's a no ball, and it will be a free hit. He did well to get some bat on that because it looked like it was spearing towards his grill. Logan Van Beek actually caught it with his left hand, but knew it wasn't going to be a wicket for him. And that was all very unpleasant, but again, like we won in the Derbyshire innings, didn't we? That it just slips out. If it slips out of the hand, there's not a lot the bowler could do once it's gone. He's in again now. Bowls to Mike on 13, and he crashes this one away towards the cover boundary. So not too much damage done on the free hit. Yeah, so unfortunately when I went to do my, apart from being very, very close, when you said at 9 o'clock and I looked at the clock and thought, as soon as I got through there, it was the end of the over and the score disappeared off the scoreboard and everything. So I was floundering rather. I think I pulled it off. Possibly. It's Van Beek. Wicket already to his name. When he conceded 11 runs, that's a full toss that's pushed up to mid-on, and they'll get through for a single. Parkinson moves on to 6. Leicestershire to 157 for 6. That run rate now up to 14 and a half. And it's not just 14 and a half, it's so few overs remaining. 3 overs and 4 balls.
And just the 4 wickets as well.
And just 4 wickets. Van Beek is in. That one high down towards third man. One bounced, well fielded out there in the deep. That was good work. I think that's Harry Kane, the new boy. Didn't keep his eye on the bounce. It's fooled many a fielder over the years, the bounce of a cricket ball, but he kept his eye on that one. And they got back for a couple. 16 to Mike from 12 deliveries. 159 for 6. A mere 51 more required as Van Beek runs away from us. And but it goes for the big shot. And it gets a thick edge, and it's just beyond the grasp of the man at third man, short third man on the edge of the circle. He picks up a boundary for it. That was a little bit fortunate. You need a bit of fortune when you're chasing a total in excess of 200. I'm not sure it's going to be enough, even with that bit of good fortune. The ball's gone very close to my car in the car park down there. If it touches it, it'll just disintegrate. That's the car, not the ball. There's a dive away to his left by the man at short third man. 163 for 6. Mike on to 20. Taps, you can hear him thumping the ground with his bat as Van Beek comes in and bowls to him. That's down the leg side wide.
He's actually standing almost outside off stump, isn't he, Ben Mike? So he's saying, go on, try and hit the leg stump then. Van Beek did, nearly, not quite, and he only needs to
just nick it.
An inch down there, isn't it? Nick it. But anything basically down the leg side will be signalled wide, however close the Grey's batting now.
I know, that's what you might as well go and join the man out on the cover boundary. What's he doing? It's become very fashionable as this one is driven. Full delivery from Van Beek. Thompson will field it and get the ball in, but he was a little tardy, and they do get back for 2 comfortably in the end. 166 for 6. 22 to Mike from 14 balls.
44 off 19 is the equation.
Is that what it is now? It's asking a lot, but it's not entirely out of the question. Logan Van Beek sets off again. 22 runs on the board for Mike. Bowls to him, he tries the ramp shot, and it's brilliant. A good catch by Brooke Guest, the keeper, diving away to his right hand side. He went for the ramp shot, got the faintest of tickles through, and diving away to his right, Brooke Guest takes the catch, and Derbyshire surely now will go on to win this game.
Yeah, it's sort of a conventional catch from a highly unconventional shot, leaping away to his right, the wicketkeeper. It was a fine catch, he had a lot of ground to make up, but batting so far outside off stump, Ben Mike. At the end there, Guest knew to follow him. Van Beek certainly followed him, and trying to work it away somehow. The ramp shot, thick outside edge, and a good two-handed take well away to his right by Guest. And yeah, you feel that might be pretty much the final nail in the coffin, unless Naveen proves to be adept with the bat as he is with the ball. He's come to the wicket now for the first time for Leicestershire. Yeah, didn't bat against Lancashire yesterday.
Now 13 runs off the over, but a wicket.
No idea what to expect from him.
He'll have a couple of shots up his sleeve, I'm sure.
In goes Critchley, and it's worked by Parkinson out towards long on. Just a single.
Here we go.
167 for 7. Yes, what will happen now? Well,
here we go.
Could become an instant hero by hitting the next 5 balls for 6, but sort of at the stage Leicestershire when somebody needs to do that. Essentially 43 now needed off 17. Well, he's going to try a reverse sweep. He's top edged it, and he's going to be caught, and is caught at short third man, moving across to his left, and Harry Kane has made a contribution. He did make a contribution with the bat as well, but he's quite a cool young man out there in the field. He won't feel that way. He'll be absolutely chuffed with that. But Naveen goes first ball, trying to do the unorthodox, got a thick top edge, and it flew nicely to short third man, where Kame took a comfortable catch.
Yeah, wickets are always going to tumble when batsmen are taking more and more risks as the required rate soars, and Derbyshire, well, from this position there'll be another couple of lusty blows, I'm sure. At some point Will Davies will have a pop, one against his former county. Interesting that Will Davies comes out to face Matt Critchley, who clubbed 16 off one of his overs when Derbyshire were batting, so he might want a little bit of retribution for that. But that's 2 wickets in 3 balls and pretty much game over, you would have thought.
First victim of the evening for Critchley, who is in to Davis, is all but bowled and all but stumped. Neither takes place because he came down the wicket, tried to flick it away, almost was bowled, he missed it completely. Guest reached out desperately with his right hand, having gathered it away to his left, and took the bails off, but Davis had somehow scrambled back into his crease.
He almost ran 2.
Critchley is in again. Davis is down the wicket and this time is stumped by Guest. Well, Davis has had a pretty horrible game one way or another and walks off almost as though he expected that to happen. Body language is awful. 167 for 8. And Derbyshire almost there now. 43 still needed by Leicestershire, just the 2 wickets remaining, and in the end it looks like it's going to be around about 35-40 runs, the margin of victory, and that is a hefty margin.
It is in
T20. It really is a big margin. They sort of made a fist of it up to a point, Leicestershire, but never really. As I said, in the end, 19 times out of 20 Derbyshire would probably defend this, and I think that's probably about right.
Critchley can finish it off here. 9 down, 167 for 9. Gavin Griffiths, the last man. Are we going to see some defiance? 43 runs still required. That's not going to happen.
Critchley is in to Griffiths, who goes back and tries to chop it out into the offside. It trickles out towards Billy Godalming, an extra cover. Single taken. Parkinson hit one lusty blow over into the offside. Can he do it again? In goes Critchley, bowls to him, goes back and plays it firmly out towards deep mid-wicket. Comfortable 2 for the 2 Lancastrians.
But a net run rate to consider.
Yeah, play the overs out at any rate.
Stay out there if you can. I mean, Will Davies didn't look like he was in any kind of mood to stay out there for any length of time. And at least we saw some invention from Naveen ul Haq, even though it undid him. First ball he faced, but there was some invention there, wasn't there? And really, there's no point. I mean, there is every point, I suppose, going out there and just blocking the ball back, as Logan Van Beek will come back. Just 1 run off that, 3 runs off that. No, 4 runs off that over. What's the score now? 170. 170 for 9, 4 runs and 2 wickets in that over for Matt Critchley, so he's not had a bad day. 4 runs, 2 for 31, his figures. And Leicestershire begin the penultimate over of the match on 170 for 9. They are chasing 210 to win. That's out of the window. And here's Logan Van Beek in to bowl to Gavin Griffiths, who drives it down the ground. That's going to go all the way for 4. That's a nice shot, a really nice shot from Griffiths. All along the floor. Van Beek just turns and walks back to his mark, plotting what he's going to do with this next to deliver it. Good shot. 36 to win from 11 deliveries. Tricky. Griffiths waits. He's on 5. Van Beek bowls to him. Now that he's lifted this into the leg side, has that gone all the way? It certainly has. That's a big one. 6 out to the floodlight pylon at mid-wicket. And well, Griffiths hasn't given up hope in this match by any manner of means. They've got 1 wicket left of Leicestershire. They're 180 for 9, 30 required from 10 balls. Might as well have a go.
Oh, absolutely. But just 1 wicket left to fall.
That's the problem. But if he can come striking the ball as cleanly as he's hit the 2, and the straight drive was beautifully timed. And that was a fairly decent blow as well, out to the floodlight pylon at mid-wicket. Shorter boundary, but still a big blow.
He's using Van Beek's pace.
I thought you were going to say he was using his bat then.
Well, but he's just suggests that he takes the pace off it and see what Griffiths can manufacture.
I wonder who's already lined up to bowl the last over. They might be just getting slightly jittery as Van Beek runs away from us. Griffiths on 11, bowls to him, drives it and hits the stumps. That's unfortunate. He's got to remove a stump. He's never going to get him out. He's not going to have time to remove the stump. He did remove it, but that's very unfortunate for Gavin Griffith. He actually smashes his bat into his right pad. That, if anything, was a better drive than the 1-2 balls previously, and it was just 1 run because it smashed into the stumps at the bowler's end. I still think you should get something for that. That was a beautiful shot.
He thought quite quickly Van Beek, but he wasn't absolutely sure of what to do. Grabbed a stump and then he picked up the ball and then he put the ball on the...
They could have run 2 by the time he'd worked it out, I think. Parkinson back on strike 1. 81 for 9. This one is lifted over backward of square on the offside for 4 runs by Callum Parkinson. Again, using the pace.
Defiance from these 2 Lancastrians.
Well, you know what we're like. You know what we're like. Always defiant, if nothing else. 185 for 9. 25 to win from 8 balls. Well.
Best part of 400 runs we've seen tonight.
Yeah, it's been entertaining, hasn't it? It's been entertaining. When you think that some bowlers didn't go for too many, some have gone for a lot. Oh, Matt Critchley's gone all the way out to the cover boundary. Now he's coming all the way back into the edge of the circle. 3 men out on the leg side boundary. 4, including the long on, as Logan Van Beek bowls a full toss. Is that too high? We'll wait and see if it's given us a no ball. Must have been close, but no, say the umpires. So he gets away with a single there, does Van Beek.
He's not a tall man, is he, Parkinson? So it must have been quite close.
16 off the over so far. But there are 24 runs required from 7 now. Sheer weight of Derbyshire runs has done for the Leicestershire batsman. And some decent bowling too, as Van Beek is in and bowls to Griffiths. Needs to clear a boundary, Rob. It's gone straight up in the air. Billy Godleman's underneath it, takes the catch. And Derbyshire win this one by 23 runs with a wicket for Logan Van Beek. His 3rd, 3 for 37 he finishes with. He was getting a bit of tap in that last over as the Leicestershire last pair just showed some defiance. Gavin Griffiths and Callum Parkinson. But Griffiths goes for 12 and Derbyshire win by 23 runs. Their first victory of the season, and on to Birmingham.
Well played, Derbyshire. The weight of runs just too much for the Foxes in the end. They made something of a fist of it, but they lost it in the field, really. But that is not to take anything away from the batting, in particular of Matt Critchley. Also, once again, at the top of the order by Lewis Reece. Hugely important contribution from him, his 2nd consecutive half-century for the Falcons. But Critchley's mighty blows towards the end, 80 not out of 45 balls, 6 fours and 4 maximums, just put too much pressure on the Leicestershire batting order. Good knocks from Patel, Lilly, Inglis, Mike, all got into good double figures, and a good show of defiance at the end from Parkinson and Griffiths. But unfortunately for the Foxes, 2 wins to start the competition, in which they rather fancied their chances. May yet come good, of course, but we'll be looking now to really get their T20 season underway against Durham here on Sunday. but if they lose that one, they really will face an uphill battle to make it into the quarter-finals. But the good thing is 14 group games, just 2 have been played, so plenty of opportunity yet to put things right. But in the end, a comprehensive win, one feels, for the Falcons.
Bowling wise, 3 wickets in the end for Logan van Beek, 3 for 37, but 2 for 31 from 4 overs from Matt Critchley and 2 for 24 off 3 overs from Lewis Reece. Probably the standout bowlers. Van Beek bowled really nicely up front. Alex Hughes picked up 1 for 42 but didn't finish the match, went down in some pain, and we'll be checking on Alex Hughes from a Derbyshire perspective come the end of the game. Looked like his side, didn't it? And they're not good. Sides are not good things as far as bowlers are concerned. So fingers crossed for Alex Hughes.
Reece is limping very badly as well. He was the one who stuck his foot out, if you remember.
I'll write some names on my hand here so I don't forget.
There's a few walking wounded, I'm afraid. The victory has maybe been a slightly costly one as far as Derbyshire are concerned. I think you can definitely, almost certainly rule Hughes out for Sunday.
Yeah, then it goes Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So there's no time at all. There's no time at all.
But we'll go and try and get our interviews, and hopefully Ian Stringer in the studio is listening. Will give us just a couple of minutes, and we'll pop and get them. Good man, Strings. Unfortunately, just in the end, not good enough for the Foxes.
To Reece, he's pulled around the corner. In fact, he's pulled in front of square by Lewis Reece for the first boundary of the match. Nice shot, dropped it.
In he goes and bowls outside off stump. Nicely worked away by Cayman. I think he's going to pick up 4 on this very fast outfield. Hill is in pursuit. He's not going to. Naveen is in again and bowling it. Pulled through mid-wicket hard and quite flat. It was in the air for a good few feet as it went past. Fans is in and bowling to Kane. That is the slower ball. He has skied it. It should be caught by Davis at mid-on and is.
On strike, Ackerman bowls to him and he clouts this over towards long on for 6. Terrific shot from Lewis Reece. First 6 of the match.
As in goes Naveen and bowls a wonderful slower ball that bowls Godleman all ends up.
Reece has 18. Leicester deploys on strike. He takes a step into the leg side and clouts Griffiths back over his head for 4 runs. 2 bounces into the advertising. Oh, proper ground and pitch and everything, yeah. Griffiths bowls and that's smashed for 6 by Lewis Reece. That might clear the scoreboard. Not quite. Just long on out on the boundary. As Griffiths is in, Reece pulls it out to square leg, right where that bloke.
Lilly is in, a little bit short and wide. He's caught behind. Yes, he is. Duploy reaching for a wide one. Had he left it, might even.
Strike. He's gone for the ramp, and he's got the ramp, and he's going to get 4 runs for it as well. He's played that really nicely. Hits the advertising boards down below us. Picks up another boundary. Parkinson bowls. This one smashed down the ground. Has he got enough of this one? Has he got enough of this one? Yes, just about. Only just about.
And it's on BBC Radio Leicester's FM frequency fairly shortly. As in goes Lilly, and he's hit for 6. A huge side. Parkinson at short, fine leg outside off stump, beautifully steered down to third man by Critchley. It wasn't a great delivery. It was a foot wide.
Bowls to him, and he pushes it up towards long on, and it is a half century for Lewis Reece, his 2nd in 2 matches.
Over, in he comes. Reece is going to try and reverse ramp and is bowled by a Yorker. So Lewis Reece, having just survived. Griffiths is in 2. Critchley outside off stump, chopped down to third man for 4. He did it in the previous over against Davis. He's done it now against
side. Walk prowling in as he clips this into the leg side. Does Hughes? They run the first one very quickly. They're not going to get back for the second around the wicket. Critchley's beaten by that one. That must have turned. I think it's well, if it's buys. No, it's taken the edge. It's taken the edge, and the keeper really reverse come out from Alex Hughes here. He's got it over the fielder who was standing on the edge of the circle, and it's going to run away for 4 as well. There's a bonus for Derbyshire. Ackerman is in. This is a conventional, it's a slog sweep in the air. One bounce down to deep backward square leg for 4 runs. Not a cinder ball to Hughes, who's driven this down the ground for 4. That's a decent start to the over for Derbyshire as well. He made it on the full by advancing towards Will Davis. As Davis bowls to him, and he pulls this one into the leg side, and that's going to be 4 more. One bounce out to the mid-wicket boundary. For Alex Hughes. Davis is in, and this one is off on edge, and it's 4 more in between the wicket keeper and the man at short third man, which is all. Hughes waits, and this time takes a couple of steps down the track and drives it. Good stop by the man at mid off.
Breaks into a much longer stride and comes in and bowls, and is pulled over mid wicket for 6. Dropped a little bit short. It wasn't a slower ball, and Griffiths and bowls outside off stump, smashed away through wide extra cover for 4 more. And again, the body language. Griffiths is in and bowls to him, hits high over long on for a massive 6, almost out of the ground, almost is in, steps across his ground, creamed by Hughes out towards the point boundary for 4 more. What an over this has been.
On 38. Lifts this down the ground now, then it's straight to Griffiths, who takes the catch, and Hughes
is in a slower ball that has been picked up beautifully and hits the roof of the meat and takes a little chunk. Hudson Prentice. In he comes to finish his over, bowls, and it's a full toss that's wiped out towards Ackerman. Now, is that all right on height? Yes, it was.
Take that. Critchley waits and ramps him down over the wicketkeeper's head for 4 runs. I don't think he's quite big swing out into the leg side. It's going to go all the way for 6. It does. It clears the rope by 10, 15 feet easily.
Longest bound
with the ball as Mike is in again, and this one's might be 6 more, but I think it'll drop short of the boundary, will it? No, it's gone for 6. He didn't seem to get it. He bowls now, and there's a little ramp around the corner. 4 more. There was a dive at the ball from the man at short, fine leg on the circle. Stood now.
The way things have gone, as in goes Van Beek and bowls, and it's hit, and it's going to be caught, and is caught. Steele goes first ball cross.
And he's in. This time he does move his feet, and it's gone up in the air. It's gone over Billy Godleman, and it's carrying on going, and it's just bounced inside the boundary rope and gone over it. Thompson is in, reverse comes out. That's going to be another boundary. This one's up 1 bounce for 4 down to what would have been a wide third man, ended up being a deep backward square leg. Again, this one's gone for 6. That's a big blow, just shy of the meat. And Lilly, well, he means business here in this over.
However, in he goes and bowls and hit in the air. Is Godleman going to get there? Is it going to go beyond him? It bounces about 6 inches.
He's in now, and that one's turned into the leg side. There's a despairing dive by the man on the edge of the circle, and it runs away for 4 more to Lilly. He's in. Inglis again plays this one up in the air. This is going to come all the way down below us for 6. It is. It bounces on the tarmac down below us. Good shot. As he's gone for it again, and he's going to get. Is he going to get 6 more? No, he's going to get 4 more. And Inglis is having a day. As Hudson Prentice is in, and this one's clipped into the leg side. That's going to be 4 more out to square leg. Well, that was.
Mid wicket has gone back out. Scampers in Cohen and bowls, hit over wide extra cover for a 1. Bowls very short, work down to third man, just short of the man on the edge of the circle. Thought it was going to carry, didn't. Banging his bat in the crease, then he lifts it as in goes Cohen. Bowls down the pitch, he goes, lifts it down towards long on, should be caught and in.
Prentice is in, bowls to Inglis, short delivery, and he's going to hook that away for 4. Pull really, rather than a hook. Very. Hudson Prentice is in again, bangs it in short again. It's gone out to the deep, and it's a great catch by Logan Van Beek out there in the deep. What a catch that is.
3 as Hughes is in, bowl, slightly slower ball. Again, it's cut. This time Hill has got it through to the third man boundary.
Right now, slightly open stance and a slower delivery from Reece is clubbed away out into the... and there's a misfield from Logan Van Beek. It goes. There's Reece bowls and there's a scoop down towards fine leg and one bounce four. That's a good shot. That's a good way to end the over for Leicestershire.
To Ackerman, who sweeps very, very fine down to fine leg for 4. Possibly would have been signalled wide had he not. It would have been.
Could be. 98 for 3. Oh, that's bowled him. It's bowled him. Ackerman went back into the leg side. Dot Hughes is in again. Another loopy delivery, and it's pushed up towards Finn Hudson-Prentice, who leaves it behind but manages to recover into.
Over the wicket to Hill, who attempts a reverse sweep and is bowled. Well, tried it once too often, Lewis.
Sweeping on the cover boundary. That's a big hit. Has he got enough of that to get it all the way? No. 1 bounce, 2 bounces and beats the dive of Hudson-Prentice. Nice shot.
As in goes Critchley. Down the wicket goes Patel. Gets to it on the full and drives it away for 4 to the electronic scoreboard. Made in, he goes to him and then does hit him high over mid-wicket for 6. But he did drop it a little bit short there, Critchley. Did drag
the pavilion, and that one is clubbed away down to the it's cow corner really, wide long on to be back. Hughes with a ball. This now then, Thompson might get underneath this one. No, and near it, it's over his head. It's a 6 out to long. 140 for 5, just guides this off the
needed as in goes Hughes. Bowls a full toss, slapped out too long, off by Patel, and the catch is taken. Comes in to finish his over. Bowls to Parkinson, who lifts it high over the...
And but it goes for the big shot. Oh, and it gets a thick edge, and it's just beyond the grasp of the man at third man, short third. Again, 22 runs on the board for Mike. Bowls to him, he tries the ramp shot, and it's a good catch by Brooke Guest, the keeper, diving away to...
Well, he's going to try a reverse sweep. He's top-edged it and is going to be caught, and is caught at short third man, moving across to his... Critchley is in again. Davis is down the wicket and this time is stumped by Guest. Davis
to Gavin Griffiths, who drives it down the ground. That's going to go all the way for 4. That's a nice shot, a really nice shot from Griffiths. 5. Van Beek bowls to him now that he's lifted this into the leg side. Has that gone all the way? It certainly has. That's a big one. 6 out to the floodlight. 1 for 9. This one is lifted over backward of square on the offside for 4 runs by Callum Parkinson. Again,